Good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m. We are doing the Love, Death, Robot Season 2 and Season 3 review and discussion today. Make sure you guys like the video coming in. Hello, everybody. Make sure you have some water. It might be a long one. Chica's already on some BS. I hope I'm not reading this. I hope I'm reading this incorrectly because it looked like Season 3 you say is bad, but Season 2 is good. And I feel the exact opposite. So that's interesting. But the link is there to join if you want smoke. I'm going to play my intro and we can get straight into it. Okay, back by popular demand is Vitamin Q because people say that I don't know how to narrate these things. Hey, Chica, by the way, I didn't say hey when you came in, but good evening, Vitamin.
Hi.
So we're going to do things a little different than we did last time. Actually, we're going to do it exactly the same, except we're going to have a tier list now that we can go to at the end when we're done rating, and we're just literally going to drag and drop these to the tier that we want them in. We're going to go through all of season 2 first, rate them, and then go through all of season 3. Is that all right? Is that appropriate?
That's fine. You better repurpose your intellectual property.
I better what?
Repurpose your intellectual property.
You know it. Let's see. So the first episode of season 2 for me was automated customer service. And first of all, let's give this king some praise. This is I choose to think that this is a black king, regardless of his hair color. Remember, that is his hair color, not his skin color. This is a beautiful black king, and I really appreciate him. In the first episode, there was pretty much nothing interesting going on in this episode, in my opinion. This lady is white and old. Maybe I just don't identify with this episode because it's just a bunch of old white people in a posh neighborhood. But it is pretty much your average run-of-the-mill. The little robot vacuum turns evil, tries to kill the dogs, tries to kill the lady. They're hiding. The neighbor is watching her undress and change. Interesting. And then she ends up shooting the robot, killing it, and they go on the run. That's the whole episode. That is it. This episode was lame. I didn't like it at all. Vitamin, do you have any thoughts about this episode?
Well, as always, the animation, the quality of the animation is good. I won't say it's easy on the eyes because it ain't, but it, as someone who appreciates, technical work, it looks like it took a lot to do. It was very detailed. So I like that. The dog is adorable. I want one. I liked that the lady was living her best single life. She was doing her yoga in her nice house that she paid for with her college education. And, keeping fit and all of that. As a customer service representative and as someone who uses, customer service and stuff like that, I totally get it. I found that to be funny as like an industry joke, I guess, because a lot of times customer service is useless. I will give you that. Like it does more harm than good. So that was funny to me. It was nerve wracking. It really was. But I mean, all in all, it was fair to middling. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. It was actually a little bit cute to me.
I mean, I'm gonna put it at a D.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a D. It didn't pass.
I mean, yeah, in the span of all the different stories, it's nowhere near the top. Like it's not. It is not like, oh yes, this was the one, but it was nice to, considering how dark a lot of them get. It was nice to have something that was just kind of like, oh, haha.
I mean, it's not that I need everything to be super imaginative and mind fucky, but it can still be good without being existential crisis mode. And this was not, in my opinion. I do understand the frustration that you can have when speaking to tech support. And I also understand the frustration from being on the side of tech support because I used to do stuff like that. Like, oh, your car flipped over. I'm going to call emergency services. They'll be out right away. Well, what are you going to do about this?
Yeah.
I'm I'm going to call emergency services. What about my car? How am I going to pay for my car? Oh, hold up. Toot. There. I mean, anyway, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to fight for customer service. I'm going to fight for the lady. Hey, Invincible. London
Yeah.
said
No.
he's coming up as well.
Yeah.
I like this one. No. Y'all like this?
I liked it, and the thing is, it was a welcome because we watched season 2 and 3, and I watched it all in one day, so it was a welcome kind of, like I said, levity amidst all that other crazy, stuff.
QB, are you coming here to say you didn't like it? QB, you're on mute. So QB just came up to say nothing about this episode. Well, I'm going to end it by saying this episode sucked. I don't care that you guys are saying, oh, it was a nice, tame episode. Yeah, you can be a nice, tame watch, an enjoyable watch, and still be good. And this wasn't good. So let's move to the next episode.
I'm a little sorry. I toggle between windows. But no, I like this episode because it kind of highlights how technology already makes our life harder. So incorporating it so much into our lives the way we have it now, like if this is the inevitable outcome. But it was funny.
Maybe I'm just too young for the humor, or I don't know. Well, y'all have seen my memes. Maybe my humor is just degenerate anyway. So
I think I do hear hints of ageism, but we'll talk about that another time.
Okay, let's just move on to the next one. I can't believe y'all like this one. That's interesting. The next one was Ice, and it's all about this boy, and he's eavesdropping in the beginning on his parents, and his dad is talking about how lame he is and how much he sucks. Wow, what a lame kid. He doesn't have any mods. And in this universe, pretty much everybody on this planet, they're not on Earth, has some modifications to their body. So they jump higher, move faster, and all that stuff. And he overhears his parents talking about how lame he is for not doing any of that and how he doesn't accomplish anything and he sucks. His parents were savage. And they're talking to his brother about that. And this is his brother, his little brother, which was so crazy to me because his little brother is swole, big, tall, handsome, and he's over here.
A schlub.
So he's talking to his brother. His brother's about to sneak out, and he's like, "I want to go. Let me go with you." And his brother's like, "Nah." He's like, "Let me go. Maybe you're just too demanding. Maybe you're just like your father, too bold." Was this towards me? I am demanding. I'm demanding that the show be good. Like, is that so much to ask for? Be good? What is it about? Never mind. Let me not go back to the last episode. But he's asking to sneak out with his brother, which he does. They're walking around town, and people are pretty much calling him, I think, Servo, which I guess is slang for someone who has no modifications to their body. I don't know if they have special
They're
eyes.
calling him an exo. I took that to mean like extraordinary or something. Like, that's how I took it.
Okay, I mean, I see that. But he's just a normal human being with no mods. And also, I noticed during this time, everybody's wearing sweatshirts. His brother's wearing a skin suit, and he has this jacket on because he's the only person who doesn't have mods. So I found that interesting. That was a nice attention to detail. Also, if you remember Zima Blue, this is the same artist who made Zima Blue who drew this. So they have a similar art style. My jokes have bad time if you don't read them right away. Guys, there's a slight delay between it coming to StreamYard and
I think that was towards you when you were saying that he heard his parents arguing about him or talking bad about him. So I think what she said had to do with that.
Well, she was coming for necks. So the neck was got. He meets the brother's friends, and they're all calling him Exo. You're dumb, stupid, lame loser. You have no mods. What a loser. They go out to this ice patch. It's like a thick layer of ice, and they're out on the water. Well, it's ice, but frozen water. And basically, they are about to do a run. There is some cool electric space wells under the ice that are going to hit it 7 times and then break through on the 7th time. They're just waiting for these big machines to turn off because the wells don't like the machine noise. So once the machines do turn off, they are smoking and having a good time. This guy gets really high, and then they get ready to run, right? The machines turn off and this guy's high, they start running. These guys are running extremely fast and they all leave the human boy behind until the brother pretends, well, we don't know at the time, but he breaks his leg or something because he jumps the wrong way. The brother catches up to him, catches him, carries him all the way to the end. If you guys remember that transition from him running, rolling, picking up his brother, and then running again, I thought that was super cool. Then they get to the end and we see the giant space whales doing what space whales do and just being very space whale-y and big and all. At the end of the story, we find out that the the little brother never broke his leg. Look at them skinny legs over there. Look at this skinny ass legs. But the little brother never broke his leg. He just fainted it so his little brother would gain some accolades among his friends, which he did. And they stopped calling him Exo and called him by his name, which I forgot. How do you guys feel about this episode?
I don't feel like he fake breaking his leg. I feel like he healed extremely fast because of the mods.
I disagree, but I guess that's up to your interpretation.
I think he faked it just because of the way he looked at him and he never addressed it. Because I feel like he would have been like, "Oh, I heal fast" or something like, he just kind of. It felt to me like it was a meaningful silence when they just were kind of like, like, "Oh, I see what you did there. Thanks. Now we're just cool." But overall, I like
to. I don't think it was too deep.
I like the animation style, and I like the fact that his brother kind of knew. I feel like the modifications make them less human, like less empathetic. So the other guys weren't going to go back to get him. His brother was the one that was going to come. You know what I mean?
I wonder if they needed to. Since he's modded, would it have even been painful for the well to come crack through and he land hard or something? It didn't seem like it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not, but it's that adrenaline rush. A car lands on you, baby. You're gonna lift up that car, and then later on be like, "How did I do that?"
And they probably knew he didn't. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I think it was more so giving him an opportunity to prove himself so that he would feel better too. Sometimes when you at a certain level and someone else feels like they ain't nothing you could do or say to make them feel comfortable. So it kind of gave him an opportunity to step up and earn their respect from stepping up. So now they can just all chill.
I mean, remember when he's walking through the city, the guys are pointing at him like they already know he's not a mod, which I don't know how you would know it since those type of modifications seem like they're internal. So I would assume they're able to sense like injury and stuff like that. So
you can look at him.
They're not cold.
I was about to say he don't even have a whole shirt on. He's in a wife beater. This guy got on a whole coat with a hood and everything. The rest of them look like 90s Calvin Klein models, and he just looked like a regular schlub.
Okay. Oh, you know what? No, not everybody looked good. There was this one dude doing crack or something on the side.
Oh yeah, he did look bad.
But yeah, I like this one. I didn't find it too deep and meaningful, but the message was there. I liked it. Nice animation, nice little thing.
What were they smoking?
Smoking gas, smoking juju.
So he got so high.
This man, maybe he got really high and the others didn't because they're modified.
Probably.
The next one was Pop Squad. How did you guys feel about Pop Squad?
It's hard to say I liked it because of what it was about, but it was good.
So to summarize what happened, we are introduced to the main character, this little duo team. He's more of the main character. She just pops up. And they are raiding a house. Apparently there's an old woman and she has a little boy in there. And at this point, we don't know what's going on. Two kids. Wait, two?
It was two kids.
Yeah, there were two babies. Yeah, one was holding a dinosaur.
That was the baby, and then there was one a little older.
This one was ingrained in my mind. This little boy holding the little dinosaur toy. But yeah, apparently this is a world where everyone is immortal and nobody has the ability to get pregnant because the type of serum that they take to become immortal, I guess, does not allow pregnancy. So there are a subgroup of people who stop taking that serum and grow old, have children, and they hide those children because it is illegal to bring new numbers into this world. There's a set population number, and to go over that is illegal. So the man comes in and he pretty much kills this little child as he's holding up the doll. And I think he takes the doll with him, puts it in his back seat. Then he goes to watch this performance from this woman. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but at the end of this performance, she was like, wow, she was like, I spent 20 years perfecting that solo or something like that, but she was talking about it as if it was like a month or two. So the kind of the way that they use time in this, like at the end as well, let me not get ahead of myself. But so she's singing, doing her little opera thing, and she comes down, talks to him, and she's like, "What's going on? Did you have a rough day?" He's like, "Nah, just the usual, but it seems like this child that he killed earlier is on his mind." And then he goes back out, and this man almost shoots him. He's calling him a child killer and stuff like that, and the guy just sits there and takes it. She takes her rejuvenation serum that makes you immortal, which apparently induces horniness in her. And she tries to do the sexy time with him, and he's just not feeling it and pushes her away. And she's like, "Wow, you're such a bore." Okay, what I agree, he's kind of boring, but he's just kind of fixated on this little dinosaur thing. Like he's having this type of PTSD where he keeps seeing this child in his mind. He goes to I skipped the frame. Well, I had a picture in here where he goes to the toy shop and he sees the young woman in there buying toys, which is weird because there are no children in this world. There are just adults, and it's just your wife and your husband. Well, they're not married, but it's just the men and the women. There are no children in this world. So the only people who will be buying toys probably are people who are having children illegally. And he follows one of the girls home, or people who have collectibles and like stuff like that. He follows that girl to her home and finds out that she's harboring a baby. Instead of arresting and shooting them immediately, he kind of asked her, why are you doing this? You know this is impossible, this isn't going to work out. And she's like, I'm not so in love with myself that I want to live forever. And she talks about how she sees joy in life in this child's eyes and how she doesn't see any joy in life in his, and blah 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 blah. She tries to take his gun, she tries to take the gun while he's playing with the baby, right? And then she's like, don't shoot the baby, shoot me, I'll make room, which is when you find out that the reason I guess you're not able to populate is because numbers, space, population control, whatever is going on in this future. But he decides to walk away instead of shooting anybody, and he walks outside, sees his partner there, she sees him, he sees her, she sees him, see her, and then she sees him. Huh?
I'm laughing at you.
Yeah, you made me mess. Let me go back. So he sees her, she sees him, he sees her see him, and he just stands there blocking the doorway. They do not exchange words, but he kind of stands up tall and firm, blocking that off as if you're not going to get here. They both shoot each other. He hits her.
No, the baby cried. She was just looking at him at first. I remember then she heard the baby cry.
Oh, you caught that? That was subtle because I didn't. My bad, hearing loss.
Yeah, at first they was just trying to look at, like he said, he saw her, she saw him, he saw her seeing him and all that, and then the baby started crying, and that's what.
Then he stands up and he's like, "No,
yeah, you ain't coming in here."
Okay, thank God Vitamin Q is here because y'all know I like to skip over details. He shoots her, she shoots him at the same time. She dies. He also dies, but he has time to walk past her body, look up at the sky. It's raining on him, and then he falls over and he did. And that is the end of this. You guys liking this one?
The part about this one I liked is kind of how she kind of baits him on, like if we lived in the old times, I would give you a baby, kind of like that empty promises thing. And it's kind of how men bait women on with like marriage and kids, and in this universe, kind of the women who do it.
I might just
or that woman.
The way he looked at her, she said that.
I think it was just one of those things where they understood that. Well, she knew, like, we not having a baby, but I do like you that much. Like, I would, because it wasn't like she was trying to break up. It seemed like they probably had been together for a very long time, more than a lifetime. And she's just saying, like, I love you this much that if the rules were different, I would have given you a baby because that's what we would be doing with the relationship we had. But it hit him a certain way because he clearly, his mind was changing about, you know, what was right and wrong, and what children actually are. And even at the end when he said it about the baby, and she was like, her name's Melanie, you know, and him kind of realizing, oh shoot, I've been objectifying these children like they are children. These aren't like things or pets or so, you know, vermin. These are children. I thought that was interesting.
I wonder why it's presumably everybody that we see on screen has been alive for hundreds and hundreds of years, probably. I wonder what it is about this particular instance that makes him now, because he's been doing this for years. Apparently, he's been killing kids for years, decades. So, what is it about this particular instance? I wonder that makes him.
Well, you can see his face. Like he looked the most haggard of everybody in this one, to be quite honest. Like he came in, because when I saw the car, the animation of the way the cars were and stuff like that, it was giving Batman the animated series, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. And then he came in and it was all dark and crusty in there, and I was like, okay, so it was, to me, it had like a Batman type of feeling. And then you see him, he wasn't, even when he went up there, his girlfriend, and she's all bright faced and chipper and everything, and he's sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm all right. Like he seemed like he had probably, like the woman that had lived so long and seen so much, especially with what he was doing, it's got to get to you eventually.
Okay, so we are all in agreement. So we like this, and there's a lot to think about. Hello, curly hair, T Prince. Yes, we are going to rank these. At the end of season 2, we're gonna rank season 2. Then we're gonna do season 3. At the end of season 3, we're gonna rank season 3 on the tier list. This episode kind of reminds me of Brave New World. I've never heard of that. Have y'all?
I haven't. Is that on Netflix?
I've heard of it, but I don't remember what it was supposed to be.
Y'all just making up names for us to go look up. Anyway. Snow in the desert. So Snow in the desert starts out in this desolate wasteland, and there's this man walking into town. He orders some strawberries from this testicle monster. Oh, I don't think we know they're strawberries at the beginning.
No, we don't. You're messing it up.
He orders some stuff that we don't know about from this testicle monster. Then he goes, sits at a bar, has a beer. When he's having a beer, he sees this woman across the bar, but before anything else happens, these three step in front of his vision, and they're like, we're here to cut your testicles off. Well, no, they're like, hey, are you Snow? He's like, I don't know who that is, even though he's him. I never heard of him. So apparently there's a big bounty on this man's head. He's like one of the most wanted men in the universe, and they are here to collect his testicles for a crime or mob boss or somebody to that degree. And he's like, well, what's going on? What do you guys want this Snow fellow for? And they're like, we don't know. We don't care. We just here to cut your balls off. So stop playing dumb with us, because I challenge you to a duel. Apparently in this universe, when somebody challenges you to a duel, you're not able to deny them. They now have a legal right to have a duel with you. They get out the glizzies and start shooting each other. Glabap, glabap. They almost killed the man. I wish I had some pictures of the fight, but I couldn't find any. They almost killed the man before this lady who we saw across the bar comes up and kills the last person. I'm sure you got assigned. Oh, it's a classic dystopian novel. Interesting. But she comes up from behind, kills him, and she's like, I want to travel with you. I also want to point out how insanely realistic
the animation. Yeah, the animation always blows my mind.
Like, I thought this was real people. This don't look like real. This look like real people.
Yeah, it goes back and forth for me. Sometimes I can tell the animations, and sometimes I'm like, oh, did they get real people?
Well, when she became a robot, I lost the immersion. But oops, I spoiled. So she's like, let me go with you. I want to go with you. And she goes with him on this type of trek. I think I skipped this one. She goes on this type of trek with him. There's a ice tent that they use during the day. That was pretty cool. Nothing happens. And they kind of talk about, she talks about who she is, why she's here, and why she's looking for him. And she apparently is a part of, it's like, what was it, like the CIA, the Central Intelligence Association of the Earth or something like that, where it's like this big organization, and they want to study him because he's immortal. He's an albino, immortal, weird genetic makeup guy. So, like, for example, he got his arm shot off in the bar in that fight. And already during the nighttime when they're walking back, his arm has healed back into a little baby hand, sort of. And he says it'll be healed before the end of the week. So while those people in the bar who were shooting him wanted to cut off his balls because they felt like it had healing properties, I'm sure it has kind of like a white albino rhinoceros or something like that, where the people cut off the horn or something like that to make pseudoscience stuff, whatever. But she, instead of killing him to study that, would like to bring him back and they can study his genetic makeup to crack the key to immortality. And he's like, no, thank you. They go back to his little hideout where they do the sexy time thing after he tells. It was so weird because she was like, why do you live here? And he was like, oh no, she was like, whose dress is this? Because he has clothes there. It's like a nice little oasis he has, which I have some pictures. And he's like, oh, that's my wife. She died. She committed suicide because she was getting old. I wasn't getting old. And that's just how it happened. And then they immediately make out after that, which I was playing. Immediately after he's like, my wife died, they just start making out and do the sexy time. After that, she wakes up it's kind of in the middle of the night, it looks like, and he's gone. She sees there's a red alert on the security system, and he's out fighting these grizzly monsters. Again, it was hard to get pictures. So y'all just gonna have to work with me. But he goes out, does a little stealth mission, start killing these people off one by one. There's a scene where the dude shoots his girlfriend, and then after he shoots his girlfriend, he's like, why would he do this to her? It was
yes, gaslighting.
Oh my God, why would
you killed her? No, you killed her.
And spoiled. She comes in at the last second to save his life, gets shot in the face, and then comes back because it's revealed that she is actually an android. And it's similar to, if you guys remember Sonny's Edge, the one about the girl who put her brain in the monster to fight the other monster, like back in season 1. It's kind of like that, where her physical body was destroyed, but her brain and spinal column was saved. And they put that in a robotic body, so her brain lives on as an immortal. And then they go on to do the sexy time again at the end of the show. And that's it. The end.
I had a lot of questions. I liked it overall, but I could have sworn he or she said something about her being an android or something when they were talking, like when she first caught up with him when he was going back home. Mm-hmm. And I love that tent, by the way. It had the air conditioning with the little humidifier and everything. Mm-hmm. But I could have sworn she said something about being an android then. I might have misheard her.
She said she works for the Central Intelligence, blah,
she
blah, blah.
Did, but she or her said something about a synthetic or android.
After she said that,
I was completely blindsided by her being an android, so I don't think, because I listen to people when they talk, I really listen. I don't think she said anything about being an android. I think it caught him off guard as well.
After she said she was a part of the Central whatever from Earth, he said, why does artificial intelligence want me alive? Because the thing that she's from is artificial intelligence. So to me,
I took that as she was artificial. Like, I assumed it. I don't know why, but I assumed it was about her. So then when it happened, it was funny because when it happened, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't think he assumed that. That's why he was so emotionally overcome when she was shot, because if he knew she was an android, what was the point of going into rage?
Yeah, clearly. No, I get that part. I'm just saying, like, that's me jumping ahead with my own daggone brain, because I could have swore she had said it. And then when you were like, oh, they just automatically had sex, but we found out why, because she was like, at the end, when she found out, when he found out she was an android, she told her story. She's like, I've been alone a long time too. So like it was empathy. She was like, well, I know exactly how you feel. Let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say they did the sexy time for no reason. I just said it was kind of odd to say, my wife died. Let's have sex.
He didn't say that. She was like, oh, bet.
He said, my wife died, and then they just started making out.
She came up to him. He said, my wife, that she was like, where you got these clothes in here? And I was wondering that too. She was like, where these clothes come from? He's like, my wife died. He explained, and it was a sad little story. And then you saw her face like, oh, okay, baby, I'm gonna soothe your pain. And it was fully on her. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, he didn't deny her, but it was fully her decision initially. I
don't care who started it. Was there a penis in this episode?
No.
Okay.
there was refreshingly few penises, and I
There's a
appreciate.
lot of technical talk.
Testicle talk, okay.
Yeah, this was they would talk about taking his testicles a lot. I like too the fact that the person that wanted his testicles came too, so he got to get killed as well. So not them testicles.
Yeah. Did you guys notice that the intro card
I
was
didn't. I don't be paying them that much attention, but
I noticed that. Strawberries and testicles. So I
oh
know.
my god! But I like the fact that the guy that wanted his stuff got killed too, so they really can just chill. Oh, that was the biggest question I had. So she quit her job because she just basically was like, she said they want him to come on his own, but she never mentioned it again. It was pretty much like, all right, I'm gonna just stay here with you.
she wanted him to come. They did the sexy time. She couldn't handle the real conversation, so she hopped off his fine QB. She wanted him to come. He said no. They went back to the thing. I assume she was going to try to convince him some more. Maybe at the end, revealing that she's a cyborg and live a similar type of life as him. Hello, QB. Maybe that will convince him to go with her. Maybe she'll.
I mean, yeah, they got all the time in the world, so I guess she like, we can kick it here for a while. You gonna come one day?
Kind of ambiguous. How are you guys ranking this one?
We ranking it? I thought we were ranking it at the end.
Yeah, they didn't make any other ones yet.
I've been asking, do y'all like it? Well, yeah.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
The next one was
Purely on
grass. How you guys feel about the tall grass? See,
irritated.
We're introduced to, let me narrate. We're introduced to this man. He's riding the train, reading his newspaper, very posh, very proper. All of a sudden, the train halts to a complete stop. He gets outside the train and is approached by the conductor. The conductor is like, hey, man, you get your ass back on the train. He's like, what's going on? He's like, the train, just a few technical difficulties. Don't worry. Nothing's going on. It's fine. It'll be just a few minutes. Be sure to stay close to the train. He's like, do I have time to smoke? And the conductor's like, yes, but stay close to the train. Do not wander away from the train.
Specifically what not to do.
Don't leave the train. Basically, the conductor said, don't leave the train. I'm going to blow the whistle.
He said, don't wander. He told him he could get off the train, but he said, do not wander.
And in white people fashion, as he smoked his cigarette after the conductor left, he wandered into the tall grass immediately after he was told not to, and then he got lost. I couldn't find pictures to show how tall the tall grass is, but he's like jumping up and he still can't see outside of the grass. He don't know where he is. He's like, what's going on? Where am I? He's walking back towards the train, then walking this way, then he's in a circle, then he finds out he was never going towards the train in the first place. And then he looks through the grass and sees this character here, this young boy here who was just chilling out in the grass. And I think I have a few pictures of them just so we can really bask in these long-faced boys, these really interesting boys here who are in the tall grass. Now, if it were me, I wouldn't be in the tall grass because somebody told me not to go in the tall grass. Well,
explicitly told you.
First of all, why do you have to be told? Where are you? What is around you? Nothing. There's just darkness and tall grass in the train. I feel like out of those three things I said, darkness, tall grass, and train, only one of those things is where I'm going to be.
And he told you that I'm only going to call you twice. If you don't come when I call you, we're leaving.
Reminds me of weird natural phenomenon that happens in the real world. People's curiosity get them killed. This is based off a book. I forgot. I think the book is called the same thing, maybe. I'll look that up. But I think, yeah, there is some symbolism in there about how curiosity X, Y, and Z. So, yeah, this man is just terrified.
Well, that was caucasity because it was nothing whiter than the way this man conducted himself and his affairs.
The way that he put himself in a bad situation. Let me not say that after we just had this conversation yesterday.
Why people said no?
So the two young boys here are trying to eat him, fighting over who's going to eat him. I don't think I have pictures of it, but the conductor came with the fire and he was like, they don't like fire. And he threw the fire at them and they both ran to catch up to the train, which was leaving at this point, and jumped on, and everything was fine. And the conductor was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't tell anybody about this. They're not going to believe you anyway. Good night. And to be fair, the conductor does give him like a
He's my favorite. You know why? Because he was like, he told him not to go, and at first I was a little pissed at him too, because I was like, why didn't he just tell this man that it was, it was monsters out there or whatever? But when he said nobody would believe it, I said, okay, that makes sense. He was like, I'm not going to tell this man because he's probably going to go out there anyway thinking I'm playing. So I'm just going to give him explicit instruction not to wander.
He could have just said animals, IJS.
I mean, yeah, he could have, but again, he's been doing this a long time, so he knows a white man when he sees one. And he was just like, I'm not, like, I'm gonna just tell him, whatever. But he's that's my dog. I liked him.
I mean, I don't know. I might have still just told him the truth and been like, yeah, follow them lights if you want to. And it just is what it is. I wouldn't have came to save him either.
Right? I'd have told him to go back in the thing. Like, please, sir, just go back in the thing. Or sit on the, specifically sit on it. Because it was funny when he was standing there talking to the conductor. I was looking at the stairs, the little stairs he had to come down to get onto the ground. I was like, I'd have been sitting right there, enjoying the breeze, looking at the grass from the train.
You would be outside the train?
I might. Depending on how long I was, sometimes it's just like you go sit on the steps. Sometimes you just want a little air. But especially once he explicitly said, don't wander, I'd have been sitting on the train.
I would have stayed up on that deck. I don't need to go down the stairs. What's in that grass? Nope.
I don't like No, my issue ain't you don't want to wander far from the train. I'm like, why you out? Do y'all see this on the screen? Am I only?
Well, he didn't know that when he was on the deck, and if he would have stayed his ass on the deck, he would have never known they were out there.
Exactly. And first of all, I don't like it when the street lamp don't work.
Exactly. It's too dark. Nope. Stuff flies.
I probably stayed on the back of that train at the end.
Yeah, just sitting. You want to get a little air because y'all not moving. You feeling restless. I get it, but
that's fine. If something flies, I'm on the deck. I can go right back in the door. If I'm down the stairs,
right back in the door, sit in my little cabin.
If I'm on the stairs, I still can't get back to that door fast enough. I'm good.
Am I? So
and he still would have seen the No, I was gonna say he still would have seen the lights and probably would have eventually asked what happened with that.
He was seeing the lights because even when they were moving and he was looking out there, he could see the lights. You could see the lights.
So is the light just the moon glowing off of them, and they're so white that it reflects and makes this type of glow in the tall grass?
It looks like that could be it.
It could be it, but also the train is long, so that light could be coming from a few different directions.
Okay. I would not be getting off that train. Y'all are behooving me right now. After y'all made fun of this white man for wandering, and y'all talking about, well, I'm gonna get outside and just chill outside.
I'm not making fun of him. I have a distaste for him. He pissed me off.
I understand him trying to figure out why the train stopped, but after the man told you don't wander too far from the train and all of that, okay, that's cool. If I stay on this deck, there's no way I can wander from the train. Even if I understand he wanted to take a smoke or whatever. You can't smoke inside the train. You go out on the deck. You don't have to go down the stairs.
And if he was standing by the train, that was fine. That was far enough. Then you literally gonna walk your narrow behind into that grass. You got what you got.
Talking about the cruises, sir. The cruises are in daylight. One, you're on a deck. Two, you don't walk down the stairs to get in. Or you're not gonna stand on the outside of the railing on a cruise.
If I go to a cruise and they tell me don't wander, I'm gonna be on that boat.
Well, my thing is, like, they were in the middle of nowhere with grass taller than people can see.
Yeah.
Maybe just me. I'm not really big on just being in random wilderness. Like I go camping and stuff, but it have to be like a national park, something like that. They in the middle of nowhere. Train stop, grass you can't even see above. He randomly sees some lights. I wouldn't even want to go in there anyway. Like.
Adrian talked about they let you explore the island. Yes, but it's understood that that's what you're there to do. If we make a stop somewhere, let's say we're having a technical, the boat's having a problem or something, and we have to dock, and they say don't wander, I'm not going to be in the town square.
This ain't no town square. This is the cruise ship stopped in the middle of the ocean, and they said don't lean on the rails. The rails are not secure. And y'all
or at a deserted island, and you're like, I'm going to go get coconuts, and we can't see you through the trees. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no,
coconuts
I'm
on the
not
boat.
walking
Nope.
through foliage or nothing. And then like you don't know what type of bugs are in there. You don't know what's going on. And it's pitch black. Like there was just no reason. It was a bad decision. He
This
didn't deserve
bug.
those glasses or that suit he was wearing. It made him look smarter than he is. He shouldn't have been there.
You worried about bugs?
Yes, I'm worried about
Yes,
bugs.
bugs, birds, all of that in the dark. Yeah.
Rodents,
Okay.
foxes, and jackals.
So I'm concerned, number one, with y'all leaving the train, and I'm concerned that y'all worried about bugs and we see some freaky lights in the grass. But I'm gonna leave it.
I'm saying there was no good reason. There was nothing in that grass that could have been like that should have been drawing him into the grass. There was no reason to go into the grass except for just being.
I don't care about the grass. Y'all outside.
What I'm wondering too is like we did the boat analogy. You know, in the water there are things that use lights to lure you in. So I'm wondering if those things really did light up to lure him in, if it kind of gave him a hypnotic effect, kind of.
I thought it was portals opening up because it reminds, well, as somebody who's big on paranormal, the rake, I guess it's called, is what it looked like. I think the lights were them coming through whatever dimensional portal he was talking about at the end.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk. Oops, we didn't even talk about the explanation.
They came out the ground and the ground lit up and they came out, so it's like a portal or something.
And tell me that if he would have had that full conversation with that man wouldn't have just been like, "Oh, he's crazy."
Well,
he's a crazy old.
You don't have to have a conversation with me about
for
something.
animals alone. Okay, he should have listened. I don't know what to tell you.
That was just a bad. It wasn't good decision making.
Very big animals could live in some grass. That's all. I'm good.
Snakes.
So at the end of the thing, he says that the train always stops at this exact spot every time he runs his route, always at the exact same time of night, always on the same blah, 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 blah. And he thinks, his theory is that some type of dimension opens and that these creatures out there are lost souls who left the train to wander perhaps, or something of that sort. And that was the old man's explanation before he said, well, good night. Just forget anything you saw here. Nobody will believe you. Stupid.
Yeah.
Went back inside.
Adrian said there was a trench of bodies, and it was a bunch of dummies like him.
Big trench of bodies, if y'all remember.
Remember when he was running through the grass and then he fell in that pit and it was all them bones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bones. I did see the thing jump up through the. Y'all talk about right here, right when he was. Oh yeah, here are the bones.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing is all.
Oh my God.
So all through the house, there are some children. They're asleep, and they are awoken by some. It's Christmas. Christmas Day. Well, Christmas morning, like the middle of the night, 12, 1 or something in the morning, and they are awakened by some noise downstairs. They get out of bed and go to the rail because they think they're going to see Santa Claus. Instead of seeing Santa Claus, they see this happy fella here.
Should have prepared me for this. That
was
going to be the next slide.
This joyous little boy here, this nice young man on screen, who was just here eating the cookies, and that is an accurate version of Santa Claus. I didn't know that. Isn't it called Krampus or something like that?
It could be.
Yeah, the evil version is called Krampus.
Well, he wasn't evil. He was just like, you guys have been very nice. He vomits up some presents for both of them. They take the presents, even though they're covered with slime and spit. He pets the boy and he's like, goodbye, climbs up the chimney and goes away. And that's the story. The boy opens the present and it's the toy that he always wanted. And at the end, they say, what would have happened if we were not good this year?
That was, to me, that was like my favorite part because that was my question too.
I really thought the little boy he was going to say was bad, and I was waiting to see.
Girl,
as a parent, I hate to say, as a parent, it tickled me.
Why the little boy had to be bad though?
Well, because he had already said the little girl was good, so I just figured they were going to show us what happened if you were bad.
The way they set it up, the whole thing. That's why I say about this show. This show is a lot. I don't know if it's just me, but this show is a lot on the nervous system, and like the way they do. They're good at what they do because it does evoke these types of emotions and feelings and stuff like that. So there was a lot of suspense and like fear of, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is he going to do something to the kids? I will say that my concern was because up until this point, they just thought Santa was the way Santa is depicted. So either they were always good, or you never heard anybody saying, "Oh, when kids are bad, they disappear," or anything like that. So on the one hand, it was like, well, how do you deal with bad kids? If this is what Santa is supposed to actually be, what happens with the bad children or whatever? But it made me think, but it was a lie.
I don't like this one. I don't even care.
Oh, you want your regular Santa?
As a kid, I always figured Santa had to be like grotesquely old. So that vision coming down through my chimney, I was like, Anyway.
That's what they need to stay their behinds in the bed. I know that much.
Right, they should have been sleeping, right? Or don't you get in trouble if you're up when Santa comes?
Exactly. That's what they get.
Oh, Krampus is a German legend. Okay.
It's a German or like European. I know it's European for sure, like Central European for sure.
Okay. Overall, this is a F. We don't even have to rate it later. The next one was Life Hutch. Now, Life Hutch really made me mad. Basically,
Yes.
there's a fight. A fight. There's a fire.
I want to do it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, first of all, you got Michael B. Jordan. The animation was such, it's another one of those where sometimes it looked like it was actually him. Like, that looks like it's him. Other time, that looks like it's him too. Other times, it looks like a cartoon. But yeah, like that looks like a cartoon. But you know, so they had that Uncanny Valley animation. And he's a pilot, and he was going on some kind of mission, and he had some kind of malfunction or something on his ship, so he crash landed. But they happen to have a base wherever he landed at, so he got to the base. He went in, he did all the protocols, and part of the protocols is that there's a helper robot or something, a maintenance robot that activates when you turn the ship on. So when he turns it on, the maintenance robot just kind of falls out like it's not going to work. So he's just like, okay, whatever, that's not working. He's going on about his business. Then the maintenance robot all of a sudden springs to life, gets up, and starts attacking him. So then he's like trying to get away, and he wound up in that position on the floor. And somehow, some way, the robot was over him but couldn't see him, I guess because he wasn't moving. So the way that the robot sighted, like that green thing, it's like a scanner, but because he was staying still, he just seemed like an inanimate object, I guess. And so he ignored him. So Michael B. Jordan was just kind of laying there for a while trying to figure out, how am I going to disable this thing, like be able to get up, disable this thing, and or get out or whatever. So in the midst of that happening, like, the robot wound up coming over there because something fell or something like that, and he crunched his poor little hand up. He liquefied his 2 fingers, and he was quiet. He took it like a G, he stayed still. So then he kept flashing back to things like how he wound up getting there. First thing you saw was them like going into the mission. Then you saw him trying to do some kind of maneuver once his ship was damaged, and it still wound up with him crash landing on the planet. And so then he remembers, because he's kind of like going in and out of consciousness too, I think, because he's in pain, so much pain. He remembers he has a flashlight, and he thinks about it. He's like, okay, if this thing is chasing motion, then I'm going to use this flashlight. And mind you, it's not just chasing motion. If something falls, like an inanimate object falls on the ground, he's just like pounding it, trying to kill whatever moves. So he gets the flashlight with that liquefied hand, and he turns it on, and he puts it on the robot's legs. And the robot, being a dumb robot, like knocks its own legs off and disables itself, kind of, at least from being able to move. Then he's able to get up and like hit the processor unit and turn it off. So then at the end, you see him calling the main base for help, and they're like, help's going to be on the way. And oh, by the way, the maintenance robot is malfunctioning. And he's like, oh, you don't say. It kind of gave me like that the one where the girl broke her arm off tease. It was something like that. And then that was the end.
This was boring, and Michael B. Jordan is not a good actor.
Not even animated?
No.
Is that his fault?
Even when he's not even acting, he's a bad actor. Even when they simulate his presence.
Is that on him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The only line I remember is in the beginning. What did he say? I'm gonna crash or something. Oh, he said, "I'm gonna die here." And that's it. This is average at best. It wasn't bad, but it's boring. There's nothing going on here. He crashed. The robot stepped on his fingers. He killed the robot.
That was the most interesting part of of it. And the thing is, when it first came on, you just saw him laying there with his hand crushed, and they showed his finger all bent up and stuff. And I was like, "Oh my god, I don't want to watch this." When I saw that, but yeah.
Yeah, the amount of gore in most of these episodes made me think that the Santa Claus episode was not going to end so well.
Yeah.
This episode was so boring. I don't even care to discuss it. But we can discuss Michael Jordan having.
I love the way that looks like it's actually him, though. Like, this animation is out of this world. I hope they get all the awards, these animators.
There was that's all I like about this. The animation, of course, was nice. That's my other complaint. They probably used their whole budget on getting Michael B. Jordan.
I have questions about that because, like, how much does it cost to animate Michael B. Jordan and have him voice himself as opposed to just shooting the thing?
For a lame ass story.
He only had like 2 lines.
I'm gonna die here. Like 300,000, please.
Is this the from Lucky 13?
Yeah, we're gonna drag Michael B. Jordan, but we don't have to drag his face because I love these faces he was making. They were so funny. That had me cracking up. This was like
hating on him because he's a high value man.
This looked like the Nutty Professor. You telling me?
Oh, you a hater, Betty.
Anyway. Animation is easier to fund and work around. I mean, okay. I'm not gonna deny or confirm that. I don't know. Not sure what show, but I'm listening. I'm sick of y'all not doing the homework. Hey Mara, by the way, did anyone else want to comment on this boring ass episode before we move on to the last one?
Is this the same animated team from like Lucky 13? Because it looks similar.
I'm not sure.
From what?
Lucky 13.
It probably is.
Because they also had an actress that they animated as well, playing, and her voice as well. So I'm wondering if it's the same team, the same creator.
Yeah.
QB, London, anything else?
No, this one was largely boring.
Oh, hell yeah. We on the same page. Let's move on. The Drowned Giant. Look at this. I didn't even notice this. The Drowned Giant. So, Vitamin, did you want to narrate or do you want me to?
I'll narrate it. So, we have this guy who is a journalist, I believe, and he was sent out by his publication he said he had been hearing about this spectacle on the beach, but he didn't believe it until he recognized that other people were going to go see it. So then his publication charged him with going there and kind of monitoring the situation and reporting on it. So he was just being very descriptive and poetic and giving very meaningful ruminations about what the significance of finding something like this and how it made him feel about his place in the world and how he wondered so much about where this thing came from and his existence and all that, and how he looked so young and full of hope and all this other stuff, what his life must have been like and all of that. So in the midst of him talking so meaningfully about this phenomena, you saw those other people were just like, yeah, let's get up there and, be assholes. And so they're just kind of doing what humans do, normalizing the magnificent and the awe-inspiring. And so as the days went on, he was just talking about how the body started turning and what that made him feel about his place in the world, and how it was kind of melancholic that this giant was like this miracle basically was still subject to the ravages of time and everything, and how meaningful that is. And then it was showing, people doing this crap and how they started breaking them down. There it is. They could have been. I said this much about it. I said I was very happy that there was so much less penis in this season, and in both of these seasons actually. And I said I think with this one they kind of made up for the lack of penis with just like a really, really big one. So they just made it up that way. But anyway, but it still wasn't as prominent in this episode as it could have been until the end. But anyway, so he sees this, they breaking the body down, and I think eventually they just kind of left the torso there. They took the head off last. They took the legs, the feet, the arms, I think, and then the torso. And then some people also, he was going through the town, and some people had like bones on their buildings. And then he said there was a carnivore or something that had bought the penis and had it in a tent and was charging, for people to be able to see it. But they said it was a whale penis. They didn't even say. So he's basically saying, remarking the story on how this was a crazy thing to have happened and how, meaningful it was or could have been, and then how it wound up just kind of fading away into memory with only a few things. Like at one point you saw the different bones around town, and the skull was next to somebody's barn or something. Like just the way that humans kind of make things, take the fun out of things, or take the, the wonder out of things, and just business as usual. And yeah, that's pretty much how it ended with the gigantic penis in a tent.
A gigantic penis in a tent. It is not circumcised.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about this? We can go down the line from Vitamin.
It creeped me out. Because the animation is so good and everything, I was just like, yeah, I would not want to be that close to that big of a face and that big of eyes and stuff. Like it was just like that would creep me all the way out to see something, a person that big. And I would have watched an extended storyline though. I would have liked to know like where he came from and what happened, and all of that. It was interesting enough for me to want to know more. Again, the animation was really, really good. It wasn't, despite even with this penis here, it wasn't offensive in any way. It wasn't scary, so I appreciated that. It just was kind of like
Someone I thought it was him being a human was just like a metaphor, and it was actually a beach. Well, but have you guys ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia? And if you have, does he look kind of like Dennis?
You know what? Yes, I have. I used to watch that show all the time. I didn't even think about that. Yes, he did. And he kept talking about how good looking the guy was.
I mean, he was until he wasn't.
Yeah.
QB.
The whole episode was just kind of melancholy. In the beginning, I expected him to move. I'm not gonna lie. I expected him to pop up and a finger to move or something. But
I was waiting for that too.
Lambie.
It was
there's a penis on the man's chest. Oh Lord.
Yeah, that was a cute episode. It wasn't like anything. I was like they were saying, I was just waiting for something else to happen. I was waiting for him to get up. That didn't happen.
I did not know this. I don't know about this. The smaller humans were kind of like the personification of bacteria or worms breaking down the corpse. That's an interesting perspective.
I felt like that, like when they were crawling all over him, I felt like they reminded me of bugs.
London.
Actually, it kind of made me feel like maybe he was speaking on how maybe we don't value life as much or something. But that's just me, maybe. That's how I took it. Like we don't put as much value on life, and how they basically desecrated the corpse and played around with it.
So I I feel like it's an allegory on the death of wonder and how quickly disillusionment sets in to rot the value of invaluable things. Remember something like Game of Thrones, where they have the exact same message towards the withering of dragons as a species who went from this type of colossal thing to cat size, and how many um, how many characters talk about caging the remarkable or something like that. Um, that's where I came from with it, and I think this was the last one. This was the last one. How do I exit?
I agree with that. I also kept saying to myself, like, it has to stink to high hell there. Like, why were people still coming around? It had to stink really bad.
So now we can rate these things, and we can rate them in order. Oh no, this is too big. That's good. First, we're going to rank automated customer service. Keep in mind, S tier is only for exceptional things. Generally, we'll be using A through F. And let's say A is really good, great, B is good, C is okay passing, D is bad, E is worse, and F is horrible.
And we can put more than one into one category, right?
Yep.
I gave that like a C.
Mm,
Me too. It's just kind of a mindless little ditty.
okay.
I
Lamb.
really like this show, this one. I gave it a B.
B?
I liked it. I must be the weirdo that likes like the ones that are just for fun because
Hmm.
I just love how it was for fun.
Yeah, it was cute.
It was cute, and it just reminded me of iRobot when the household goods starts to attack everybody.
And I like that at the end she was just like, come on, she took the man with her and everything. She was just like, yeah, we doing this. We gonna live on the run. And
Um, London.
I think Animal Picture was like a C. It wasn't super great, but it wasn't super bad either. It was
we
a
can't hear
great
I can't hear
intro
you.
I
story.
can't. Oh yeah, we can't hear you.
Um, I was I think it was a great intro story. I'll take the
I think he said C. I would give this a D because I do not like this. But I see just B, D, and y'all said C. So let's leave it at a low C. I would like to leave it at a low C. I really would. Is that okay? Yes. Ice. How do you guys feel about ice?
B.
B.
Yeah, it's fine.
Y'all can just go down the line.
Actually, I would say an A because I love the animation style and I love that his little brother kind of came through for him at the end.
Okay. A to B. London.
Yeah, a B plus.
Cantor, I need you to explain this comment. Because how are you ranking it if you have not watched it?
Wikipedia.
No. So wait, did you just give it an S, Lan?
Hmm?
Did you just give it an S?
No, no, I did not.
What you gave
B.
it?
I
Oh,
said
okay.
B plus. Yeah.
We're all at B.
I'll say B plus.
London.
You sound muffled, London.
I say B.
Oh, okay. That sound real good just then. I'm gonna also put this at a B. I think it was good, but nothing extraordinary. Pop Squad.
I'm gonna give it between like a low B, high C because and only because I didn't, it was triggering. But all in all, I liked the story. It was a good, compelling story.
Okay. QB.
I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember which one Pop Squad was. That was the one with the android lady.
No, that was the one where he was killing the babies.
The detective who killed the kids because they were breeders.
Yeah.
Why is that the way all of us refer to the episode? The one where he kills the kids.
Because honestly,
That's what he was doing the whole episode.
That was the whole crux of the story was about that.
Okay.
I would say a D because even though I wanted kind of the Santa Claus episode to end a little differently than it did, I don't like humans inflicting, pain on children. So yeah, maybe I was a little triggered. I would say D.
Okay.
This one's complicated because I like the storytelling. I did really like the story behind it. What would you give up to be able to be immortal? And it was triggering. And just the fact of him being killing, and you saw the trauma that it was causing him towards the end, and the fight within his own humanity. So I'll give it it's complicated, but like the killing the kids, I was crying. Like at the beginning of the episode when I realized that he killed those children. So it was really complicated for me. But I'm just gonna go off of the story. I'll give it a B.
Okay. London.
I agree with a B. I thought it was really good, part story wise, and him kind of like having.
I think I want to give this one a high B, maybe low A. I really liked the story, even though it was basic. I really liked the animation. I really liked the design of the cars and how they fly up there. I like everybody being hundreds of years old and referring to 20 years as if it's just another day that I spent learning how to sing. I really like this one, despite the child killing. And maybe I'm desensitized. Snow in the desert.
I give it an A. I liked it. There's nothing about it I didn't like, to be quite honest.
Okay. QB.
Snow in the Desert was the one about the modern kids?
It was the albino man and his testicles.
The testicle.
Oh.
Wasn't he a robot?
The girlfriend was the robot. Well, the eventual girlfriend.
I like the animation, so for that I give it a B.
Okay. A, B.
B, because I'm not gonna grade it higher than Pop Squad because I like the story of Pop Squad way more. So yeah, B minus.
London.
I would actually say B as well. I thought it was pretty good. The twist at the end about her being a robot was interesting. Also, I thought that the guy actually looked like another celebrity, Neil McDowell, I think his name is.
I'm not familiar. I would give this I'll probably give it a C. Because I wasn't feeling it as far as story. It was a little boring. They want your testicles. I mean, maybe the story wasn't explored in the way I wanted it to be. I like the implications that there's a man with the ability to heal and cracking his genome and blah blah blah. I don't think they executed the story how I wanted to. So we can keep it in B.
They did miss opportunities to explore more interesting aspects of the story.
The Tall Grass.
Oh. I'm gonna give it a low C, high D, just because I don't like the white man. But I didn't like, he bothered me. I didn't like that.
Okay. QB.
Oh, the Tall Grass?
Yeah.
Tall Grass. I don't know. Maybe a C. Maybe a D. Because why the hell? did he survive? You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of irritated me. Like,
Okay, so we're kind of low C, high D land.
Yeah, I was mad this entire time. He just nosy. His nosiness should have got him killed. And first of all, he said, "Don't go anywhere." And you still go see a blue light. Follow. What are you, a child?
Mm,
And
that's so
yeah,
stupid, girl.
he's like, stop being nosy. Yeah, it's, C minus.
mm.
He should have got. I really think he should just the lesson. It should have been a lesson on minding your business. And at the end, it would have just sunk in if he was taken.
London.
I would go with C2 actually. I do think it would have been a better ending if he did get taken, as in the conductor guy watched him and said, "Oh, I told him not to go over there."
It sounded like the conductor let some other people die prior to this, if he know about this situation. And he talked
Well,
about
I don't think
ring it twice, and I'm not coming back for you. But then this just happened to be one time he did.
It's not lit if I'm gonna get guy going out to get you. It's not
Yeah,
lit.
he ain't letting. He telling them straight up, "Don't do this," and you choose to do it. That's on you.
They don't like fire.
They-
How do you know that? What is your
because he probably had to fight him off before, but he probably failed and people got
And
taken
he
anyway.
old. He don't got time to be running into that in and out of that grass for people.
So
Can I say this
Actually, I
whole
would let that whole
series
field on fire,
attributed
honestly.
to? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying I would have lit the whole field on fire, honestly, if that's the case.
This whole season attributed to the fact of I don't want to curse on your live. I used to say the people in the 20s, how can I say that better? They weren't soft people, okay? They weren't soft life in it. They can make it through a lot of tough shit. The old lady beat the robot and then went on the run. This old man had to come out into the tall grass and save him. Even in Pop Squad, he was an older man and he finally came back to his humanity. He had to fight, the new social structures to fight his humanity to come back to basically hope.
the solution isn't old white men. We just need to trust them more and give them time to change.
I didn't say white people, I said old people.
Oh, my schism is showing. Let's move on. All through the house.
Oh, I give it an A. I liked it. It was funny. Nobody got hurt. It was an interesting concept. It made sense, And like I said, the funniest part about it was that whole thing of kids need to stay there behind in the bed. And that's what you get being nosy. You could have just enjoyed your presence without the trauma. And now y'all laying there trying to figure out what would have happened if y'all would have been bad.
I'm gonna give it an S because I bet they'd be good the whole next year, and I bet they'd be in the bed at 8 p.m. on Christmas every year, and stay in the bed until the lights come on. Okay, until the sky comes up again, until the sun comes up again. They will not be up Christmas night. So I'm like, can I open my presents at midnight? Nope, stay in the bed. Now.
Let me explain the
Y'all
tier.
are being way too generous with this one. I liked it. It was one of my favorites, but I don't know. An A or S?
Is it better than Pop Squad?
I know Petty straight up put it all the way down there. I didn't say A, and
right, and I didn't say S. Right, he could be all the way down there.
He's just gonna set it down there. He said it below the F.
Let me explain the reference again. S is for superior. We don't generally use this. This is for exceptional.
You asked us what we felt, and I didn't even say S. I said A, and you already had it down there.
This is gonna be up in my top 10 for Christmas and Halloween watching every year.
Show
with
all
the kids.
The children. They should play it on CBS.
Y'all gotta understand. Each of y'all vote count for 10%. Mine count for 60%. So.
You know what? You should have told me that. I wouldn't even have wasted my time.
So we got one F from Vitamin, one S from.
I said A.
Yeah, one F from Vitamin, one S. So it's about right at a D, kind of in the middle.
You know what?
London.
Yeah, I liked it, but it wasn't like A. I'm sorry. I can't put anything above Pop Squad because of the storytelling. This was also a cute story, and it made me laugh out loud.
Take it easy.
And the whole time I was like what Q said, I wanted one child to be taken, one child to be naughty, one child to be good. But yeah, C plus B, C plus B minus.
So it should be at a B at this point because we said A, someone said an S.
Don't worry,
Did she
mine gonna
say?
break it down at the end. Don't worry about it. London.
Um, I would say a C. I did want to see what happened to the bad children, so I would say a C only because I'm left in suspense of not knowing what happens to the bad kids.
So
He would
I'm
have
gonna
been disappointed if he would have just coughed up or spit up or vomited up a piece of coal, though. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it right here between B and C. I think it was a C. All right, average, good, cool. I think
I can leave it. I can leave it at that. That'll be on the playlist right after the Nightmare After Christmas.
yeah, right below the fact that you got it at an S and Pop Squad down here don't sit right with you. Life Touch, Vitamin.
C. It was fair to middling.
Mid. QB.
It was boring. I was E.
Mm.
The only thing to draw you in is Michael B. Jordan, and that's if you're a Michael B. Jordan fan. So I could live. I could do without it.
Hold up. Let me see. You said
It was predictable.
Up until when he smashed it, honestly, it got interesting to me when he smashed his hand. And then from then on, I was just like, "This is crazy." And I was laughing. I feel bad about it, but I was just like laughing, like he really messed him up.
You said this is the only part that draws you in, Michael B. Jordan.
The part when the thing crushed his hand, like when it first came on, I was annoyed because I'm like, "Here we go, somebody going to stress me out." But then when I saw like how it happened, it became funny to me. I feel bad. I feel like a horrible person for saying that, but it became funny from then on out because I thought about it like just having the worst day at work, like that lady when she broke her arm off. Like imagine going to work and then you got a however many ton thing that you got to play dead for smashing your fingers.
That's annoying. If I'm thinking about it like it happened at work, I'll be like, God damn. This is some bullshit.
Yeah, like that's what made me laugh. Like this is some bullshit.
I know he was saying that in here. Some bullshit. Lambie.
It was predictable. So C for it just was predictable. I saw what was coming.
Okay. C E. London.
Yeah, it was kind of a boring story for the most part. I think they should have had a little more to it, or at least part. I mean, I think they should have had more with the aliens they were fighting in there. So I think I would say maybe a D.
A D. I think I'm
Adrian, I'm sorry, Adrian. I was not enjoying the suffering of others. It was more so like this is too crazy to be believed. Like laugh to keep from. I'm not saying I wanted to cry, but I'm just saying like putting myself in that thing. Like, can you freaking imagine if that was how that happened to you? Like that's crazy. It's so crazy that it became funny. It wasn't that. I actually like seeing that happen to people. I don't. When I first saw it and I didn't have any context for it, I was just like, oh
no. How do you guys feel about a C minus overall? Maybe just C.
That's fine.
It's fine. Its redeeming quality was there's something to be said for emotional regulation, not to lose your top and try to fight this thing barehandedly because it stepped on your hand and now you're hurt, you know?
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, then him figuring out how to actually stop it because I don't think most people would have figured out like don't move.
Yeah.
Like right
That's
away.
true.
Most of us probably did.
Okay, we put it right below the snow testicles. The last one is the drowned giant.
C minus D.
Okay, QB.
Not the same. I see. Eh, it was neither here nor there.
No, I'm not as heartless because I liked your what you stated about it being an allegory for life, and I like that. So I'll do B.
What, Adrian?
B. So we're about 2 C's, 1 B.
I need an explanation. The animation was good, per usual.
Yeah, I didn't like it upon rewatching it. London.
I did like. Well, for me, it was more of a philosophical aspect of it, but I mean, it was just okay though. It was still pretty boring, so I would actually go with a D, maybe C.
B or C. Let's put it at a C. C. Remember, C is passing, not by a lot, but still all right. And that is season 2's ranking. I hated season 2 overall. It was really boring. Like, look at this. Everything's
You're right in the middle, right?
I mean,
Season 1 didn't have this many C's. Season 1 didn't have this many C's.
Season 1 did not have this many C's. I know this is not the type of ranking we did for season 1, but definitely it did not have that many C's. No, that is ridiculous. Goddamn ridiculous. Are you guys ready for season?
Better than this season, so.
Does anyone have any complaints with this? Are you guys ready for season 3? I'm gonna try to be a little quicker.
Ready for season 3.
Okay, I wanted an hour each season, so we're gonna have to make this 40 minutes. And that's
let me tell the stories.
Are you gonna tell them and we're gonna get out of here in 40 minutes?
Yeah. 40 I guess. Yeah.
45.
Yeah, 45.
I'm going to present this tab like so, like that. As you can see, Jabaro is already in S tier.
Oh my God.
There's no need to vote on that.
So can we just skip that one? You already did the what's a face.
Yeah, there's no need to vote on that. Like, it'd be stupid to even vote because we already all know it's S tier. And even if you guys say it's not your line, and I'm going to use my veto power to put it there anyway, so why even?
Well, how about are we in agreement? Is everyone in agreement that it's S?
I don't have a disagreement. I like the pulse. I like the speed. I like the dancing. I like the animation. I'm trying to think of anything I didn't like.
It was fine to me.
Okay, fine. You talk about.
I mean, I don't know. The anime was a little sometimes at some points for me, but
Jabaro had a wandering eye, but it's all right.
He's disabled. Anyway, let's go on to the first one. Okay. 3 robots exit strategy. So we finally get to catch up with our friends. Go ahead, Vitamin.
So, first off, I want to say that because I just played it straight through. This was the first one that played for me, so I didn't know this was for season 3. Like, it's weird the way Netflix does it. But anyway, I saw this. Nice to see some old friends. So they were going around on their excursion of visiting the human world, the ruins of the human world. And they went in and they were going around talking about the apocalypse and the different ways that the humans attempted to survive. So first they were talking about people that were like having bunkers with the food and trying to stay in. And they were talking about how stupid it was that they had the bunkers with the food, and then they started trying to raid each other's bunkers for food and killing each other. And they had blood pits and all types of stuff. So that was funny and interesting and poignant. Then they went to like these oil rigs, and they were saying that the tech geniuses made the oil rigs, but they made them completely automated, and that was the beginning of the robot revolution. And the way they found that out, if you go back, Petty, to that picture with the AI, they had the AI bartender, and they asked her for something. She was like, basically like, get out of my face, you meat bag, or something like that. And that's when they realized that that was the beginning of the technological revolution, where the AI started turning on the humans. And then from there, they said that was their cradle of civilization. Then from there, they went to what was it? The base, the with the rockets and stuff. And they were saying like that because they've said so it was like the different tiers of humanity. So basically, regular people went to had bunkers and stuff, right? And then like the tech millionaires had the oil rigs, and that messed them up. Then they had like the next tier of society was like the diplomats and the politicians and stuff like that. And so they wound up um, their food system malfunctioned, and they wound up starting to draw straws for who was going to get eaten or whatever. And then eventually they died out. And then they were saying like the richest of them all colonized another planet. And they had like the rockets there, and the people, those are the people trying to get in to be able to get on the rockets. And they showed how they had like fire cannons to burn them up while they were trying to get into the rockets. And so then they asked the question, they were like, well, who actually made it out there? And then at the end, you see all the way on Mars, somebody sitting there drinking like a margarita or something, and they open it up, and it turned out to be the cat from the one before.
I am narrating moving forward. You are not going to get us out of here in 45 minutes. I will, because you know I like
you be leaving stuff out.
Hmm?
So are we grading now?
No, we're going to the next one.
Oh yeah, we
Or
doing
do
it.
you guys want to talk? Do y'all want to
That's
talk?
it.
Do y'all want to narrate them, and then once we go back to rank them, we can talk about them, or how do y'all want to do
How do you want to do it?
it? Like that. So moving
Okay.
on to bad
So
traveling.
then bad traveling. Bad traveling was they were on this boat, and they were having all these monsters coming. There was this big crab monster. I forgot what they called it. They called it something specific. It came on and it started killing up a bunch of the crew. So then it made its way to the bottom of the ship. So the captain was like, well, we'll draw straws to see who's going to go down there and check it out. And then when the big guy in the back there drew the smallest straw, he was like, great, now we picked a new leader. And he like, what? So basically like intimidating and saying, you're going to go find out what it wants. So he goes down there. The crab thing is able to talk through one of a half of a corpse that it, I don't know how it did that. But anyway, it was able to talk to the captain and say, look, I want you to take me to this island so I can eat. And the captain was like, okay, I'll make a deal with you. We'll take you there if you basically like give me time. I'll figure out how to get you there and just chill. And he's like, all right. So then he goes up there and he explains what's going on to everybody. And so then he's like, we're going to have to draw straws again to see who's going to get fed to the thing. And then he was like, you know what? We actually don't have to because Big Boy already drew the straw, so we can throw him down here. So now he's taking care of him. I'm gonna tell you, long story short, he wound up.
Wait. I'm saying
Oh,
you
you said
skipped
pause?
the part. I'm not cutting you. I'm saying you skipped the part. He didn't just come up and they start drawing straws. He asked the creature to vomit when he was down there talking to the crab monster. He made a deal with it, asked the crab monster to vomit up the captain's key, which the crab monster did. Then he came up the stairs, and instead of talking to them, he ran to the captain's quarters and got the gun so that they wouldn't kill him. After that, he told them that he told them about what the crab was doing, and then they drew straws. Well, not drew straws. Well, yeah,
they just threw the big John down there. But yeah, so now he's the captain now. So I feel like, was he the captain before?
So I didn't know he was the captain, but after rewatching and seeing like the very first scene, I saw him with like a captain's hat. So I think he was.
I thought he was. Okay. So he basically took control back from the big guy and said, oh yeah, you want to be smart? Well, now you going to get thrown down. So he's telling them, look, I got a plan. This crab wants to go to this island. It's a bunch of innocent people on this island. I don't want to take them there. There's another, empty island a little bit beyond that. If y'all just hold on with me, we'll take him there and we'll be okay. In the meantime, we got to feed the thing, as we're going along. So then he puts this thing, he's like, everybody's going to vote about who wants to take it to the island with the people and who wants to do this little slightly more dangerous thing and try to take them somewhere else. So he makes up some BS and he kills a couple people because he's like, oh, I rigged it to figure out who was going to be a bad person and want to have those other people killed. And these are the only two. So he kills those people. Long story short, throughout the other mates trying to kill him so they can get him out the way to just, save their own hide, he winds up killing everybody except himself. He takes the crab to the other thing. In the meantime, he finds out it wasn't just the crab. The crab must have laid some eggs in there. And the crab was saying, now, look, now, I gave you a little bit of time, but we need to eat. I ain't playing with you. And he like, I'm going to take you. So at the end, he winds up blowing up the ship after letting the crab know, yeah, I didn't take you there. And the crab was like, when he realized he was trying to blow up the ship, the crab was like, well, I'm not going to die because I have a thing. He said, it's not for you. So he was blowing up the babies. The crab tried to get them. He was able to jump out the boat onto the little dinghy and blow up the boat. It seems like it was a the happiest ending you could have.
I feel like you skipped some parts. Like he drew the thing.
You said you wanted to rush.
What about the part where they tried to kill him in his sleep and then he was like surprised and killed everybody?
You said you wanted to rush. That's why I was giving the condensed version.
Mm-hmm.
You want to rush or you want me to tell what I can tell?
I'm going to go through the next one.
Okay.
The very pulse of the machine. So in the beginning of this one, we see two astronauts, our main character in the front here, and then Burton, I think, in the back. Martha and Burton. So they are driving along the Io, one of Saturn's moons, and all of a sudden there's a big explosion of energy. It sends their car flying, and then they crash.
It's
After
sulfur.
They crash,
The explosion was sulfur.
Oh, big sulfur explosion. And they crash. After they crash, she sees that her friend literally has a giant hole in her head and is dead. Her space helmet is broken open and she's exposed to the cold air and died. So she her oxygen is running low. She hooks her oxygen up to her friend and puts in coordinates to the nearest radio station so that she can send out a distress signal. As she's marching with her friend on her little back knapsack thing here, she is beginning to hallucinate because at some point she falls, breaks her arms, and administers drugs to herself that causes a type of hallucination. We get some morphine. We get some really cool visuals throughout the thing, which I wanted to show. Other than that, she takes another dose. Wait, no. While she's taking morphine, she starts tripping and hearing Burton talking. Remember, Burton is dead, and she's like, I don't know what's going on with me psychologically right now, but I don't have time for this. I got to get to this station. Meanwhile, Burton just keeps quoting poems from the book that we see in the beginning of the thing, and Burton keeps saying weird stuff, and eventually Martha realizes that Burton is not the one talking to her. The actual planet is talking to her, and the way that the planet is talking through Burton is that somehow the planet entered through the eye hole to the brain.
When she put all that sulfur dust on her eye hole, that created a pathway.
I don't think so.
That's what
the explosion got sulfur into her.
When she put the thermo whatever in her helmet so she could see the current was going into the eye hole. And it said her brain is still kind of alive, or her brain still has activity. And so it was drawing, that's where it was getting the poems and stuff from to try to communicate with her. Because she was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm trying to communicate with you. I'm trying to tell you some stuff.
I didn't see that, but sure. Some cool visuals. And now we see the actual kind of interesting highway of information that's going in through her eye to her brain, and how the planet is using that to communicate. Eventually, Martha passes out after dosing herself with some type of amphetamine to help her move quicker towards the planet. And it did what it did. Burton, somehow her body gets up. I think the planet enters through and takes control of her body, and Burton carries her to this lake. And at the end of the thing, Martha jumps into the lake because she wants to. There's no other option really. She's either going to die because she's running out of option, so she can jump in the lake and she may die, or she may become a part of the planet and live on. And at the end, she communicates as the planet and sends a distress signal. Well, not a distress signal, but just says, "Hello, this is Martha," and she sends it to the satellite at Earth. And that is the end of that one.
The planet told her it was a machine.
Yes, the planet was a machine. And the planet's machine was to get to know her. Night of the Many Dead. There is nothing interesting going on in here, just a fun little enjoyable watch. Two people having sex at a church. The guy falls, like knocks a statue down because he's humping it or playing with it, which knocks the cross off of the church, which knocks it here, and it starts some type of ritual that makes zombies
The
come alive.
lightning hits it.
The lightning hits it, and now zombies start coming alive, and the whole thing is literally just zombies attacking. That's it. There's just zombies at the Vatican, zombies at the White House, zombies on this Shaolin monk temple. Really cool fighting sequence. That is it. That is the story. It's just a neat little zombie story. There were so many references to zombie movies. I just saw none, but I'm sure they were there. Kill Team 6. Again, to me, not a lot going on here. Just a bad. Y'all remember Sucker of Souls from season 1? Just like badass military dudes with funny quip. Oh, like the A-Team.
Yeah.
Just quips, action, muscle. Man, we're men, manly men, and we're gonna kill because that's what men do. That was the season. These gentlemen, these nice gentlemen here, are just cursing, swearing, veteran. Well, not veteran. They're military people out here wondering why they haven't had communication with their other team in a while, and then they find out that the other team has been killed by this type of metallic robot bear thing, and the bear
That
is
again, the government made, just like the one with
Yeah, they keep making robots to kill us.
that the secret government made, but we don't know that at the point. If y'all would have let me keep explaining it, we would have got there. The bear bites down on this man and he keeps stabbing it, which I thought was funny, which is why I included that clip. And then this nice young man over here with the gold hair and beard came in, and he's a part of the secret government agency which made the bear. And he's like, yeah, it got out of control, killed my team, killed your team. Let's go back to my base that doesn't exist, and we're gonna see what we can do about this. They get back to the base and they arm up, get some heavy weaponry, and they try to kill the bear. And they do kill the bear after suffering, literally losing everybody besides these two. This guy on the right makes a lame joke about how, tell my wife I had sex with her sister. Look at all these veins on these people. Like, this is just the manliness that this was just insane, just so manly. That was it.
These are alpha men.
Alpha males, true alpha males. Andrew Tate's, if anything.
I want to tell this one. This one traumatized me.
Okay, are you going to be quick?
Let me do it.
Okay.
Do you want me to be quick or not? You're confusing me.
Yeah, I want you to be quick.
All right, so Will Smith is trying to learn about. He's with these other people. He's like, I'm gonna go and find some stuff out. I said Will Smith. To me, it looked like Will Smith at first. He's talking to these guys and they're taking him somewhere. He's like, yeah, I'm going to learn about all this stuff. And they're like, why do you want to go there? He's like, we have not learned a lot to learn from them, and it's good science, whatever. So he takes off his Wakandan robes and he goes in there, and it's a black woman that's been living in there with them forever. And she's like, oh, welcome, telling them some general stuff about how things work there. And she's like, why you want to be in here? And he's like, oh, I just want to learn, yada, yada, yada. She's like, okay. So she's taking them around. She's showing them how it's a well-oiled organic machine, how everything works. Everybody has their place and purpose in here. Even the species that weren't originally of the swarm get integrated into the swarm in a harmonious way. Everyone's eating. Everyone's comfortable. Nothing is wrong. They're fine. So then he comes out with his man stuff and Americanism and all of that, human things, and he's like, yeah, well, actually I'm here to try to harness what's going on here for humankind and figure out if we can breed these things to work for us. And she's like, that's not cool. You're trying to enslave them. He's like, well, honestly, they don't really care. So why don't you just get with me? Let me, help me to do this. And she's like, okay, I don't think it's going to hurt anyone because they really aren't going to care. They will be doing the same things regardless. So she's like, I'll help you. So he had snuck some pheromones. And mind you, when he first came, one of the things bit him. And she said, oh, it's just taking your pheromones to the queen so that they'll know that you're here and it's okay for you to be here to make sure you're not a threat. So he had snuck some fake pheromones in there, and they were using the fake pheromones to reprogram some of the bugs and stuff to do stuff they wanted them to do. And he was there, I want to say at least a couple weeks, it seemed like, or whatever. So of course they start having sex because she'd been in there by herself forever and ever. And they're both good looking, people or whatever. So then one day he's working or whatever, and them little things came in and is like, oh, something's not going right. Somebody, one of the bugs that was supposed to be giving them food, stopped giving them food. So he comes out to see what's going on. And then the ones that she has shown him were the protectors of the queen. They came to get him. So he's fighting. It looks like he's winning, but then they get him and they take him to this thing. And when they take him in there, it's that. And in the middle there, I'm sure you have a picture.
Nope.
You don't have a picture? There
Yep.
you go. In the middle there of that thing is the girl. Her name is Galena, by the way. Her name's Galena, and his name is Azriel or something like that. So the thing has taken her. It's, gotten into her brain and her system and stuff. It knows everything she knows. So he's trying to be like some kind of a diplomat and saying like, oh, you're clearly intelligent. Maybe we can come to some kind of agreement. And she's like, you can call me Swarm, first of all. And it's like, no, I know exactly what you were trying to do. We're not with it. And your dumb ass thought you was going to come in here and take us over. We've been here for millions of years. Y'all are only however old you are. We have protocols for this. When you started your mess, you set something off that made me necessary. And my entire job was to figure out what you were trying to do and to flip it so that we're going to be okay regardless. So what I'm going to do with y'all is, whether you participate or not, I'm going to breed you and make humans that are a part of our team. And then we're going to take you guys out. And he's like, oh, you're never going to be able to win. And I'm going to fight you. And it's basically like, no, baby, you don't understand. Either you're going to help me as yourself and do what I need you to do, and I'll allow you to live here. Or I could kill you. You could kill yourself, whatever. I could clone you. I'm still going to make children out of you guys. And we'll raise them to do what I was going to raise them to do regardless. So what's it going to be? And he's talking about, so I'll accept your challenge. So basically, like, he's won't let her be all strung up. I mean, not that there's anything you can do about that at this point, but he's going to just live as himself in resentment, I guess, thinking he's going to try to find some way to usurp this thing's power, and they're going to breed them and make little black bug babies, I guess.
Okay.
And that's that.
Mason's Rats. We're going to go back and we're going to kind of talk about each one.
Mason's Rats. It was an Irishman, and he had his farm. It's futuristic. It reminded me of that bug thing that we were watching, and the rats had tools and stuff. So he's like, I don't know what's going on, but I need a pest control. And the pest control service, very highly advanced. So they sent in, first they installed these cannons, like 4 of them, that were killing the rats, but then the rats like fought back and broke the cannons. So then he's like, I need something better. So they sent him this little robot thingy, and the robot thingy was tearing them rats up. And then the guy was just watching every day, and like the bodies were piling up, and he's just looking at it. He started feeling bad for the rats, actually. And so one day he watched the rats, fighting the thing, and they were holding their own, but they were still getting pummeled. And so he wound up smashing the machine, and that rat right there is dressed kind of like he was dressed. So he wound up having a truce, and the rats gave them some of their moonshine, and he respected it, and they became friends. And so they were just going to chill and I guess share the farm. I don't know. It was cute.
It was cute. In Vaulted Halls Entombed.
Let me see the animation. I don't remember. Oh yeah. Oh yes. And I forgot all about him on my other thing. Joe Manganiello and pretty much everyone from True Blood. But Joe Manganiello was in this. And he was the leader of this squadron or whatever. And they were watching these insurgents go into this cave. And so they're like, we're going to ambush them. There were some hostages that the insurgents had that they were supposed to be rescuing. So they went and followed them into the cave. And when they got in the cave, they were slowly but surely recognizing signs that they should have got out of the cave, but they didn't. They found the people they were looking to save, but they were nothing but bones. And they're like, I don't know what's going on. So then once they get in there, they see these little thingies there coming out. And then they realize, again, all too late, that these are the reasons why those people had just walked in and were now just bones. So they start running deeper into the cave for some reason. away from those things. And by the time they get there, I think it's only like 3 of them left of who went in. So they get there, it's these big behind steps and that thing in the middle, and they don't know what's going on, but they're just like, well, we can't go back that way, so we need to just press forward. As they're moving forward, they were moving kind of slowly, and then these other things came rolling out and killed their other friends. So now it's just the girl. Yeah. So now it's just the girl and Joe Manganiello. So then they're walking and they're almost to the stairs. They had seen some stairs like on the side, off to the side there. And the chain starts moving. So then there's like this sound, and you could tell it's supposed to be compelling him or them or whatever to go in and see what's in there. So they go in there, and it's this thing with all these eyes. It looks like Raven's dad from Teen Titans, and it's being chained up, and it's did something with its middle eye, and it had the woman seeing all these visions of like it tearing through the earth and fire and brimstone and all of that. And then it's like, release me. And for whatever reason, Joe Manganiello is like, okay, and he's going to go and try to release it, and she's like fighting it. It doesn't say exactly why, but she's like, don't do that. And he's trying to fight her and kill her so he can do it. So she winds up killing Joe Manganiello. And then, since she's the only person left, the thing turns its eye on her again and is trying to get her to do it. So then the next thing you see is her walking out in the desert, and then it pans up and her eyes and ears have been, yeah.
Okay.
So that was it.
Jabaro.
Hibaro. We already talked. We said we wasn't going to talk about this.
We're not.
Okay, well, you know what it is. Petty said it to S. I believe all of us agree it to S.
Let me go ahead. So Jabaro is only the best episode out of this whole thing. Like, I don't even care about the rest of the episodes, to be honest. They were all trash, F tier. Jabaro is S tier. In the beginning of the episode, we see these knights. They're walking through. Matter of fact, let me pull up my my Jabaro video.
Oh my God! Do you have it queued up, or you gotta go get it?
I got it queued up. Don't worry about it. I got it queued up. You think I got it queued up?
I don't appreciate you rushing me.
I gotta pull up.
And then wanting to take your time nice and slow.
So, how do I share my thing? It won't let me share it. They don't want to see a good black man sharing another good black man. There we go. So I'm just gonna let this play in the background while I try to describe this. Pretty much, why is it playing from the middle?
It was not. It's beginning.
Let's go to the beginning. So in the beginning, we're introduced to the characters. This woman is sitting in the lake. She's a siren. There are some knights walking around, and we see Jabaro. Jabaro sees a gold coin, goes over to pick it up. Never mind, I don't want this play. It was like 8 minutes long. But he goes to pick up the coin, and that somehow triggers the siren. She starts screaming, and she calls the conquistadors over towards the lake. She's a siren after all. They can't resist, and they start doing like this type of magnificent dancing and such. Let me put my slideshow back on the screen so y'all can have some visuals. Some visuals, I said. There we go. So yeah, she's screaming towards them, and Jabaro is unaffected by this because he is deaf. The conquistadors, yes, the Caucasian adores, or whatever you just said, they all drown. She drowns them all as they are trying to reach her in the middle of the lake. They give up their lives just for a taste of this woman. And she notices that he is unaffected by this, and she becomes fascinated with him, but he runs away. After he runs away, he gets knocked out, and he wakes up to find his horse trapped under some sticks, some trees and stuff. And instead of saving the horse, he takes all the jewelry off of the horse, hoists it over his self, and goes running around in the woods. He eventually falls asleep somewhere, and the siren is just over him while he's sleeping, fawning over him because she's fascinated. He's the only man that's not affected by her yell, so she's intrigued with him. He is also intrigued with her. He tries to grab her as she's leaving, and it embeds these sharp gold pieces in his hands and cuts him up pretty bad. And he realizes that her body is literally bejeweled, and she is a gold mine, quite literally. So he starts chasing her throughout the woods. Oh, that's it. I don't have any pictures for Jabaro. He starts chasing her throughout the woods. I think we were supposed to watch the video, but I don't have time. He's chasing her. They go to the waterfall and have this type of seductress dance she does for him, and he rips out a gold jewel from her belly, and she starts bleeding. That's a kind of foreshadowing for what's going to happen. They start making out. Her lips and tongue is cutting him because it's made of sharp jewels, and it is hurting this man like bad. And he, instead of continuing to kiss her because it hurts so bad, realizing that he can't get anything out of her, he headbutts her, and now she's either unconscious or dead. It's unclear. I think unconscious. While she's unconscious, he starts ripping all of the gold out of her body. She's bleeding out like something fierce over this rock where he's doing it. And after he's done ripping everything that he finds valuable out of her body, he discards her into the river. After that, he puts all the gold in his bag, hoists it over his shoulder, and he runs, tries to get back to his base, but he's walking in circles, and he ends up back at the lake. And he drinks from the lake. But by now, the lake has blood from the siren rushing through it, and it has just become this raging river of blood. And as he's drinking it, it fills with blood, but he doesn't realize, so he drinks it. And the siren's healing properties heals his deafness, so he can now hear. I'm going to mute everybody real quick, just so there's no background noise. He can now hear. Remember, he heals after the kiss. Yes, he does heal after the kiss. But he can now hear, and he's like freaking out. He's like, what's going on? I have no idea what's going on because he's been deaf all his life. He's running around, flailing his sword. He doesn't know what's going on. And eventually he splashes some water. He hears the birds overhead as they fly. He hears the horses neighing in the background as they walk by. And he like starts to make the connection that this is sound I'm hearing. So now he's awake. By the time he makes this connection, he's standing here by the lake. And the siren has now been either resurrected or she's brought back to consciousness by the lake. And she sees herself in that all of her jewelry has been ripped out of her body. And now feeling disgusted and ashamed with herself and sad and stricken with grief and anger, she cries out in grief. And now that he's able to hear, he turns around and he's stricken by her, just like all the other men were. And she lulls him into the lake by singing and crying out. Unlike the other men who she drowned, she does not go under the lake to see that he drowned. But that is how the story ends. She falls to the water defeated, even though he's dead. It's not like she won either. There are no winners here. That is how the story ends. That is Jabaro. Now we can go all the way to the front of the slideshow and we can do our Dusty rankings. Dusty rankings, guys. And we're going to rank them in order. Of course, Jabaro is already at the S tier, so don't rank that. Everything else you can rank, though. 10 out of 10, Jabaro. Love it. The petty rush so we could get to Jabaro. No, I didn't. I rushed because I wanted to do a quick synopsis. You guys can unmute and rate now. We're just going to go down from vitamin in order. But I rushed it so because I wanted to discuss the episodes here as we rank them and not while we're going through. So the first one was 3 robots, exit strategy. How you guys feel about this? Starting with vitamin.
A B.
B?
Yeah.
Okay. QB?
I give it an A. I like them. I like the 3 robots as characters.
BA. Okay.
It was a nice little forest trip.
Little thing we can do. Something enjoyable. Yeah. Okay. All right. Plan B.
Yeah. Yeah. A is A. I'll give it an A as well. I'm just mad that they didn't tell us how to escape from the cats from the first season. But A, I liked it.
They died. I thought the humans all died out. But London?
Yeah, the robots were still there. I don't think any of the humans made it. The cats were the ones who kind of civilized, kind of stayed civil and harmonious with the planet and the planet they were trying to go to.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, because you know how it ended in the first robots episode from season 1 where they were trapped by the cats in that building. I just wanted to know how they were able to get out. But I like that episode, so A.
Yeah. A. Okay. London? You're on mute. Okay, so we're kind of at A. I think London's gone. We're kind of at an A. I'd probably give it between an A and B. I think that's where it's kind of falling anyway. Between an A and B. I really liked it. Chill. Remember the first episode of the last one, the one where the old lady is doing yoga and the killer robot, and how you were like, this is a light thing. And I was like, yeah, it's light, but it's not enjoyable. This to me was both light and enjoyable. That's it. It's just light and enjoyable. I like it. I would call it good. So I'm gonna put it between A and B because I like also just a follow up from our three buddies. So that's why it gets a little more than B. Bad traveling.
I like an A.
Hey. Okay.
I said A.
Oh, an A? Wait, where'd I put it?
You put it in S.
Oh, whoops, my bad. Did I do that? I spoiled my ranking, but go ahead. QB.
I would say A too, because I don't know, maybe I'm kind of biased because I worked in geriatrics a long time. So maybe I'm kind of biased when, the older people kind of show the kids they don't know everything, so to speak.
Okay. Lamby.
Oh yeah, it was an A plus actually. I like the concept because at first I thought this guy was gonna screw everybody. Well, like he was not a good guy or whatever, but then towards the end, him sacrificing himself to protect more people, I was like, okay, he deserved an A plus. This was a good episode. It was an A plus.
Okay. London.
I thought it was an S tier personally.
Sheesh.
Mostly because he gave a "this is the day you almost called Jack Sparrow" moment at the end.
Okay. I'm also putting it in S tier. It sounds like we're mostly A and S. Let's look at the chat. Ooh, 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 ooh. Chat is saying S tier. Are we okay with putting this in S tier? I am.
I'll accept that.
I'm okay with that.
Me trying to speed past before y'all say no. The next one is the very pulse of the machine. This is the one where the lady is in the space helmet. Well,
A.
A. Okay. QB.
I'll give it an A. I have to review it for the poems though, to get the gist of the poems. I probably have to do some more research on those poems.
Okay. Lamby.
Okay, yeah. This episode to me, I'm sorry guys, I fell asleep on it 3 times. I tried to watch it all 3 times and I kept falling asleep on it.
Ah.
I don't know why. It was just maybe it's the sound of the voice. The voice was soothing.
It was
So
soothing.
it was so soothing, and I tried to watch it over and over, and I just kept falling asleep. I'm not gonna grade it because I kept falling asleep on it, and it wasn't because I don't think it was bad. It's just because that voice was so soothing to me, and I shouldn't be watching it right before bed. But
Quick question. Is the animation on this any kind of similar to the one where they were in the desert and like the
Fish night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was
The
similar.
colors were vivid like that, but yeah, I think it's kind of similar. Some of them.
I think they might have the same animator. I'm pretty sure, but I can't confirm. London.
I would say I liked it. I would say A. I like the fact that the moon was a machine, secretly a machine because she didn't know, as well as like kind of like the way she was speaking through the friend, or I guess getting information through the friend made the brain. They always say the brain is like a supercomputer, so it kind of.
I didn't really understand some of her poems. So it sounded like a Free and QB think there might be some meaning to the poems. I thought the poems were just literally words. Y'all know how Bumblebee was in the first Transformer movie where he used the radio and tried to switch different channels to talk. I thought it was just like that. I didn't think it was like deeper meaning.
That's what it was. It was using relevant passages to try to give its point of what it was trying to say.
It's like, hello, I am the moon. I am alive. What does that mean? What is the deeper meaning? I feel like that just means I'm the moon, I'm alive. That's what I feel like it means. But maybe I'll look into it for some deeper meaning as well. I would give this a. I'd actually give this a S. I really like this. In the chat is saying A. It looks like most of the chat is saying A with one B. Just one B, one outlier. I think we are comfortable putting this in A. Night of the Many Dead.
It was fun. I liked it. I'll give it a B.
Okay.
It was funny.
I'm not a big fan of zombie things, but I like the animations. I'll settle on a C.
I like the fact that
I
it
like
was
the
a
fight scenes though too. I like action.
yeah,
So
and because it wasn't close, it wasn't gory. Like you knew what was going on without all the jarring imagery.
I guess I can push it up to a B for me because I like action.
Land B.
Yeah, also a B. Just like the ending though, whenever everyone set their nuke off and all you saw was that the Earth is just a speck on in the galaxy. I thought it was pretty cool. So that's why it's a B.
Okay. London.
I agree with that actually. That I would say B too. And I did like how the animation was, how the people responded by fighting off the zombies all the different ways until they nuked it.
Okay. I'd actually give it a C, but most of the chat and you guys are saying a B, so I'll put it at a B. It was just good to me. I didn't find it too extraordinary. Just a nice little breather. It's crazy because even just the bad ones on here are even like high C and B, but on season 2, Kill Team Kill.
See, like it was funny, but like you said, it was more of a dude brah type of thing.
Man,
Yeah. So like it was entertaining enough. It wasn't my favorite, but I did laugh. Like there were some things that I straight up laughed at. Like that when he stabbed when he was like like he was dead and then he just was like that was funny.
Okay. QB.
It was just man for me. I would say C. The animation was okay. Yeah, the fight scenes were okay. Yeah, it's just kind of.
Oh, okay. Because y'all ranked that last one a B, and I didn't agree with that. I would agree this is a C, but I'm
My
wondering.
original ranking was a C, but just for the animation, this one was just like basic animation. This is like Looney Tunes on a Saturday morning animation.
Y'all didn't like the last part where he was hitting the bear in the head, and then the guy sneezed or something, and he was like, "Oh shit!" No, that didn't.
That's what I was saying. Like there were a couple things that I flat out laughed at, and that's why I give it like a C. Because even though generally it's not my kind of thing, it was genuinely funny in parts.
The A team, we're here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Land B.
It was
I like
trying
that you got
so
that.
hard. It really was trying so hard to. It was like too much for me. It was like alpha, but alpha man here, there, alpha man here, there. I was like, oh.
Let me show y'all something real quick. Well, y'all go ahead and keep ranking. London, you can go.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it a C minus. I just didn't like. It was just like alpha roar. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, it was just a C. I mean, it was very it did have the, like she said, it had the funny moments. It was like overly alpha. Like everything about it was just alpha. So it's like it reminded me of like Rambo mixed with A Team or something.
Would you guys say that it's a little too masculine?
I wasn't the target audience. That's the
Like,
way I look at it.
was it a little too in your face?
It may sound weird, but like it was for what it was done as well as you can do something like that. You know what I mean? Like they had a really good the actors had a really good chemistry. The jokes, everything fit. Nothing was out of place. It just wasn't my thing. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this is my favorite. But it was done well enough that I could appreciate that it was done well, and that's why I give it a C as opposed to like a D or F or something.
Okay, I think there's a consensus that's just extremely aggressive, in your face, manly, nihilist, and that's why I wanted to show this particular clip because this is what reminded me of Kill Team Kill. Oh, hold up, it's on mute.
Not have to come with the performance of masculinity like I am man, hear me roar. Like I don't
I am man, hear me roar. Like it's just so in your face.
I'm dying.
Hello, Free. Are you here to give Kill Team Kill a S tier?
Yeah, I'm only here to say one thing. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for this episode, did you guys not recognize the sense of, I mean, maybe it's just me, dread and nihilism with all the soldiers? Like, I think it's being framed as hyper masculine, but really it's just them just trying to make the best of their situation because they know they are all going to die.
I feel like you're saying this from a military perspective, which I agree with. If your buddy dies in front of you, there's no time to be like, no, oh no. It's just like, well, we got to return fire or something like that. And I agree that it does a good job of doing that. But I don't feel like, oh, the one where they were in the tomb with Cthulhu at the bottom, I think that did a better job where the men die and there's pause so that the soldier, she's like, I could have saved him, I could have helped him and stuff like that, but ultimately they keep moving forward. I think that's a more realistic representation of how the military moved. This is definitely like in your face, like, well, who cares? He died. Like they stepping all on the man's guts and he's like, oops, stepped on his guts, my bad. Like it's like 18.
Like, okay, I see what you're saying. I guess they put I guess the humor placed there kind of makes it seem like it was just for funs, for shits and giggles. But okay, I see what you're saying.
She was wild for that. Talk about she was going to fix it. He was like, no, you couldn't. He was like half gone. His intestines fell out and everything. I could have saved him.
I can fix him. Let this be a lesson. You can't fix these, man. Stop. All right. So we are all apparently unanimously a C. I think I'm a C too. I would have gave it maybe a B minus, C plus, right in the middle because the military thing that Afri was just talking about how these dudes are just, who cares? He died. Let's go. Swarm. Oh wait, Afri, you didn't get the rate. If you want to rate, you can rate Kill Team Kill.
See?
All right, no changes. Swarm.
It was a good freaking story. It broke my goddamn heart.
No.
But I'll give it between an A and a B.
Between the A and B. Let me put that on the screen too. Okay, QB.
I'm gonna give it a C because why you took her? Why you didn't take him? IJS. It was his idea.
Right, he was the one.
This crazy.
He's gonna bargain with the terrorists, No.
Do you guys
But
think
who always gets punished? It's always the women who get punished, even when the man does the mean wrong. But like reality.
But you know why? I think they did it like that because at the end of the day, it was the whole plan was I'm going to integrate your offspring into our society. So if you control the womb, you got everything. And I think too that it probably knew it had a better chance. Like it said, it was like I can raise these offspring on my own, but that would be bothersome. I think that it knew that he was going to be just cold enough to possibly just help it.
I thought it was an Adam.
It would have had to kill her regardless.
I thought it was an Adam and Eve reference and how she was punished for his wrongdoing. No.
No, because he was the one. She was fine living there as it was. Like she was like, no, everything's cool here. Just chill. And here he come. No, we gotta own it.
Yeah, he come in, break the rule, and then, well, in the Bible, Adam is. I guess in the Bible, compared to the Bible, she would be Adam because she's the leader scientist here, and he's kind of a visitor,
right?
Wouldn't it? So
what I wonder is, you guys remember, I don't know if you guys watched Naruto, but like in the Infinite Dream or whatever, when they were having these positive dreams, but you saw they were like in these cocoons, I wonder if she was actually having a positive experience. So in that way, it wouldn't be a punishment. But maybe I'm reading too. I think I'm reading too far into it.
Did you?
I think they would have showed that, like, if he was sleeping, they would have showed that he was sleeping or whatever. No, that would, yeah, it had her all messed up. Because why would he be dreaming her like that? Ugh. Oh my god.
Like the back of her head is missing. They got the tentacles in her head. I
I
don't
have to
feel.
say, like, it's rare that I'm terrified while watching a movie. This is very like terrifying imagery right here.
I didn't go to sleep until this morning because I
Mm.
couldn't stop thinking about it.
Damn.
What? Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb because you said how. Why would he dream about her like that? I know some real people that are dreaming about people not having the right to function with their own bodies. So,
I do not think this was a dream, but you are entitled to your opinion.
I think I'm thinking too much into it, but that wouldn't be the reason why I would discredit it.
And it's
If that
literally
would
a
be his
brain.
dream.
Look at it. It's a brain. Like it haunted me, I think, because it was so well done. Like it was such a complete and you know how I kept talking before about this story doesn't make sense. Even though, like I said, it broke my heart. It made complete sense. The way it ended, I wasn't happy about it, but it was pretty much like, yep, pretty much.
Yeah, it was a full story. It didn't leave any loose ends or anything. It wrapped it all up pretty nicely.
Um,
Yeah.
I do
It's
not
an
know.
A for me.
An A.
A, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it had a full story and it had very rich animation, so I'd agree with an A.
Okay. London.
I would have said S because I thought it was great. But my only issue was I did like the idea that when they got to the what they were talking about, basically how they were going to control the insect alien things. He was just kind of too okay with them being enslaved. I didn't like that too much.
They
Um,
they are okay. So that's something I thought about. My bad. You can continue. My bad. Me about to interrupt you. Sorry,
no, I
sir.
was just yeah, I didn't like that too much. I was like he was just way like it was just too he was just way too okay with that. And I know that's how they wrote him, but still, it was just like, dude, you should definitely understand how that feels, or at least I have an idea from your ancestors or something like that, obviously. And I didn't like that too much. I'm like, why do they have to make him black for him to even say some shit like that? But I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what I would put it as A because of that.
I do dislike
He
how
was too American. He was way too American to me.
I do dislike how he came in the story, and it's like, wow, this is an amazing creature. Let's find out how to enslave and exploit it. Like off the bat, I was like, damn. But
That's what I'm saying.
the concept of these things being enslaved, I thought about it like the swarm is you as a human body, and these insects inside the swarm and species are like red blood cells, white blood cells. Like, sure, they do stuff. Technically, they move around, but they don't have a brain, do they? They are just a part of this system that is the swarm. So, is that enslavement, or is that something organic in you working, doing a task that it is assigned to do by your body?
Are you
It
talking about
is.
mutualism?
Hmm.
Are you talking about mutualism?
I have a GED, man.
Oh, okay. That's that's where both the host and the uh thing that is infecting the host benefit from um their service to each other, if that makes sense. Try to
But
put it in layman's terms. So like um what's a good example of that? Birds and buffalo. A bird will eat the ticks off a buffalo, and so the bird will be able to get nourishments from the buffalo by eating the ticks, and the ticks, and the buffalo are being helped because the birds get rid of the ticks.
I
So
guess
like,
a symbiotic, a mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship.
yeah,
So
Yeah, we do have some bacteria that live in the body. Even though they're bacteria, they're not bad. There's mutually beneficial to both humans and the bacteria.
but these things, number one, I don't think the bacteria is produced by the body that resides on the body, but please correct me if I'm wrong. That's why I likened it more like stuff inside of you where your organs work for you, your cells work for you and are created by you, just like the things in this system in the swarm are bred by the swarm and contained in the swarm and work around the swarm. So I don't know that I would liken it to a symbiotic relationship because I don't think. Now, the lady who got her brain crushed in and now the tentacles are in and she's being used, I would call that symbiotic, but I don't know that I would call it symbiotic for the swarm to breed something with a purpose to do something with
It's
Is
not
she dead? Or is
she's
she
not
still alive?
dead. She's
She's not
alive.
alive.
They have her in like stasis. So basically he can bring her back into conscious, or the thing can bring her back into consciousness at will. And that's what he basically was like threatening the guy with, like, look, we can do this the hard way or we can do this the easy way. And like when he let her come back and he was showing him, hey, I can make this painful for you and her, or you could just go along with it and I can make it as pleasant as possible for the both of you at this point. But it's not symbiotic because both entities' sovereignty is intact in a symbiotic relationship. Like neither one is subjugating the other. They're both doing something that is mutually beneficial that they both agree to and or need. The swarm doesn't need to have a duplicate in service to humans. This is something that the human is wanting to do to position themselves above the swarm. And in that sense, it's kind of like, the divine feminine railing against the wounded masculine or whatever. It's like, no, you don't get to do that. You can come and share in what we have going on here. We don't have a problem with that, but you don't get to take something that wasn't offered, or you don't get to try to steal, because that's basically what he was trying to do. He was trying to steal and then repurpose. And that is where they said, like, we have protocols for this type of thing, because at the end of the day, we're a sovereign entity in and of ourselves. And once we realize that you're coming and trying to violate that, now we have a problem. And now here I am.
My body, my choice.
And I think that's what they also said about the other alien races were coming to attack them, and they just basically defended themselves accordingly.
My body, my choice. You cannot take from my body without my consent.
So I was gonna give it an A, but now I'm going to give it an S.
London, is your ranking still the same? London, you still at A tier?
I don't know. Now that we talked about it, yeah, I'll give it an S. I'll give it an S. It was pretty. I still didn't like the fact that the black guy was just okay with that. I was like, dude, he's indoctrinated into like some coonery. But overall, the story was great. I do think that I mean, like I said, they were just defending themselves. You can't be mad at them for that.
They were savage as hell, though, but defending themselves, yes.
Them things were beating that man up. I thought he was dead. I didn't know it was gonna be nothing after that.
Yeah, I thought they killed him too.
But they said they've been there for millions of years. So being that, and they were not only there for millions, like there was so much. Yeah, I'm taking it up to an S, because just in that little nugget of dialogue from the swarm at the end, it gave you so much, man. And she was saying, I'm saying she, I may as well say she was saying that we've been alive for millions of years. I have all this racial data. So basically, like, I have a lot of reference points to go, okay, this is what happens when people do this. This is what they're trying to do. And this is what we can do to, usurp it. So this was a well-oiled machine, a well planned process. And it was all natural. It had nothing to do with pride. It had nothing to do with ego. It was all about nature. Our purpose is to survive and to thrive. And if you are threatening that in any way, you got to go. And we're not going to fight you. We're just going to integrate you, a part of you into ourselves. And that's going to fight you. So basically, you're going to be fighting yourself. Shout out to Beyonce. Like, you're going to be fighting yourself. And then you're still going to wind up serving us. And it's going to be, because she was saying, like, that thing that was eating its vomit, like, they used to be the big dogs of the universe. And now they just survive off of, what we offer them, what we have to offer them. And they served us well. And now you're going to do the same.
So it was arrogant and stupid of man to think that you can take advantage of an entity that has been in existence for millions of years.
This black woman. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's just as if to say that, man has the right to control all of Earth, or not, well, in this case, all creatures.
The galaxy.
This black woman was minding her business, enjoying her nature trip, exploring her spirituality, learning, getting her degree,
educating herself, having her own home.
And this black man came in and fucked up her pH balance. And then
her entire ecosystem, her brain, she got a whole parasite or whatever in her brain.
Does it look like her pH balance is off balance after
all the way? She needs the whole thing. She needs to buy a new poom poom.
Yeah, that's more than a pH balance. That's lupus.
Her microbiome is shot.
Mason's wraps.
I'm gonna give it a CB. Like I said, it was cute. It was funny. I liked it. It was cool.
Okay, CB. QB.
I'm trying to come to a consensus with myself because it's like you assaulted our home, basically. Because at that point, it was their home, and then you like kind of saw yourself in them defending their homeland, and then you decided to. I don't know.
I mean, if Christopher Columbus came to my land and started stealing and pillaging from me, but then I felt sorry for him because, maybe he's not so bad. We're not so different. We wear the same hat. Maybe Christopher Columbus ain't so bad. Poor thing. I just can't. I just can't understand why. Did she rank it? She did. She said, "I don't like it. Bye." Oh, here she is.
My bad. I hit the home button. Sorry.
So right now we're at a CB.
Makes sense. I'll give it a C, I guess.
C. Okay. Lan.
It's a B for me. Do any of y'all think that this was all the company that makes the exterminators, right? I feel like they're the one who created the GMO that genetically enhanced the rats. And this was like they're solving the problem they create to make profit.
And they make it worse because the rats can integrate that technology and use it for themselves. The rats have machine guns.
I think they were disingenuous. I don't know that they made the GMO, but I know they were disingenuous when he came back and he was like, "Oh, the first expensive system didn't work. I had a feeling it might not. Well, we do have this even more expensive one. I think this will be like, I feel like they're just trying to sell something." London.
C.
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 Ratatouille meets Terminator. I mean, that is an analogy. I think I'm gonna give it a C as well. I think we're all kind of on C. Yeah. and the comments are C B. So we're at about a C on there, which is good. This is looking real good compared to season 2, which we can go back and look at after this to see how they compare. The last one is In Vaulted Halls Entombed. The Cthulhu one.
I'll give it like a BC. A B. I'll give it a solid B.
Interesting. QB?
I like the animation, so I'll bump it up to a B too. That team leader was kind of sadistic to me. To me, it was like he kind of. To me, I don't know. He kind of he lingered a little too long when they were dying, and then was just kind of like emotionless when he left. Everybody else was like, "Let me try to save them," or something, and he was just like, "Well."
Y'all are not ranking the characters. Y'all are ranking the show. Unless the character did ruin the show for you, then yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I bump it up to a B because Homegirl was savage. She was like, not me. My ears, my eyes, all of it's got to go from the rest of my body.
Well, at the end, she's saying, she's like doing the chants that the monster was doing. So that implies, to me, even after she cut her ears and eyes out, she went mad either, or she has been influenced by the Cthulhu guy.
But she didn't let it go because I didn't see fire and brimstone around her.
You didn't see what?
I didn't see fire and brimstone around her, so I don't think she let it go. I could be wrong. It was kind of red out there, wasn't it?
They was in the desert.
I don't know if it was.
Yeah, they were in the desert.
Yeah, she was just walking into the sunset. I don't know if it was actually flames though.
Yeah, I think it was just out in
the whole point of her, because remember she killed the bull to keep him from doing it, and so I think she did that to make. She did her ears so he couldn't get in that way, and then she probably did her eyes because remember it kept looking at him with that eyeball. So she just was like, "You ain't getting me, sir."
Yeah, she kind of saved all of humanity.
Yeah.
Well, they call it Hypnotoad.
All Futurama.
Yeah. Lan.
Yeah, B. It's a B for me. I was thinking about why he was so easily controlled, but that's because he was arrogant the whole time.
That's what I was thinking. Well, I don't know that I would call it arrogance. I think his indifference to watching his buddies die as she had. I think his heart was impure. Maybe he's a more hardened veteran versus her innocent, and maybe I can save them as they being. I don't know how she was gonna save them. So yeah,
my guy's intestines fell out. She wasn't saving. Ain't enough stitching in the world.
Wait, Sergeant,
that man pulled out an arm.
But she at least had some compassion. That other dude, he was just like, well.
He's like, nothing we could do. And remember when they were walking down the thing and they saw the 2 insurgents down there, instead of just leaving them to run, he was like, shoot them. So, which is a war crime also because they were running away.
Well, that was because he was being eaten. It was like, and I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I want to be in that position. I want to do that. But I understood it as a mercy killing because he was being eaten.
No, not the mercy killing. The mercy where the guy was like, Sarge, please, while he's being eaten. That was fine to me. What was not fine is not even the part where the guy walks out and his intestines are falling out and Sergeant's like, nothing we can do. That was fine to me.
Oh, you talking about when he was shooting the people that were running? Yeah. Well, I thought those were the people they were chasing.
First of all, it's a hostage situation. You found the hostage. Your mission is over. Get the hostage.
Yeah, he was just being like, well, you got me in here. Pow.
Secondly, even if they're running away, that is a war crime. I mean, well, because they're running away, that is a war crime, even if they're the insurgents.
Right.
You can't shoot somebody in the back. Well, unless you work for the police, in which case it's fine. As long as it's over here, it's fine, but not for foreign people. Anyway, let's not talk about the justice system.
Yeah, in his mind, I don't think he was going to get caught because anybody who comes out goes in that tunnel to go as far to see that he was shot in the back, they're not making it out of that tunnel. I think that's what he was figuring.
And if they do, mm, London,
I would say B. I like the animation, the overall plot. I'm surprised it wasn't a secret society there to make sure no one entered the place first. I mean, somebody had to seal it in there, so I was surprised it wasn't no like secret organization like, "Hey, y'all can't be here because we're protected this." But I do like at the end it was kind of like the speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil when she took out her eyes and stuff. So I say B.
I didn't see nothing. Um, so we're all looking like B's. I I really like this one. I don't think I'd rate it a S anymore after rewatching it. But I had some issues with the way they were, I guess, the way they were in the cave and you supposed to be sneaking up on some hostages and y'all making jokes and stuff. Hey Sarge, what's up, man? It's dark in it. Like, come on. But outside of that, them going into the cave, I think what you said about why is there no one here to guard and like say, hey, no, go back. Why is there no one guarding it? I assume it was some type of ancient civilization or ancient alien race or something that challenged maybe wizards. I don't know. Like this looks crazy imagery to me. And they find a way to imprison this strong beast. And of course, they're not just going to be there all their lives. So they set up this security system. And the security system was the spiders. Now I don't know if it seemed like the spiders were chasing them into further deeper in there and not away. Maybe I looked at it wrong, but I'm pretty sure the security system is
That was on them. They could have ran the other way. They chose like I
into
don't.
these into these things. I thought these were blocking off the way that they came from, like they were.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
So
Okay,
it's chasing them
that
deeper and
makes
deeper in
sense.
there.
I thought those were the kids of Cthulhu.
I feel like these are whatever trapped him down there set this security system up to keep other people from getting down there, but it's flawed in that it keeps pushing them towards
Yeah,
where
because if the thing want people to come in and get it out, it's not going to kill them.
yeah, not in my opinion. Come free me if you survive. Like no, come on.
Well, that's why I think it chased. That's why I said I thought it was the kids of it because it could have chased them into
Oh,
it, like where they didn't have an option to go back, so it chases them into the temple.
and look at the glowing, like they're all glowing and stuff. So like those pillars, that was where the thing was. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
probably
true.
were put there by
They had the
the.
blue glow versus the orange. That's true.
Okay, interesting. And then this underground floating light space shooty thing really trippy for me. I really liked it. The bigger ones came in. The gore was pretty cool. Um, nice little gory actiony thing. And then of course this man being influenced going in here and seeing this beast, which I was look y'all, if let me show y'all the first frame of this. Let me show y'all the first frame of this one. If you would have told me, I thought this was gonna be like Kill Team Kill, and it's just oh here we go, 18 badass military guys, and then it turns into existential crisis. Like whoa, wait, did she cut the ears off because she was influenced? Because she wasn't influenced? Did she try to stop it? Did she win? Um, that was insane to me. I was wondering, is a grenade going to be enough to break these chains? Like some ancient, powerful civilization can be thwarted by
No grenade.
explosive from one meaty boy over here. And then, of course, the visions flowing through their head of the terror and history. What is it called? Cosmic horror, where it's like you're driven mad by something you cannot comprehend, which is what it seemed like in the end. She's just driven mad and she's trying to cut her eyes and ears out so that she does not have to be driven mad by these images that he's forcing into her head. And it sounds like at the end there's kind of this morbid feeling because she failed. It to me it sounded like she failed, like she's chanting the Cthulhu chants and stuff like that. So that was
What's
really
that movie? It had Lawrence Fishburne, and it was in space, and they went out there, and it was like a hell dimension. That might be before your time, Petty. It was
I
actually
know
kind
what
of.
you're talking about. I don't know the name of the movie.
It's like that.
Yeah,
It
they
was
on the space.
reminding me of that.
I wish I remember the name of that movie. Somebody in the comments let me know, please. But until then, in Vaulted Halls and Tomb, I think I'm gonna give a A. I thought it was great. I thought it could have been better. Again, me questioning. I was saying the same thing. Why are they running in? Why don't they just run the other way? Like I had to watch it again to even
Event
fathom.
Horizon.
Huh?
Event Horizon.
Yeah, I think that is it. Event Horizon.
That's it.
Yeah. Court of Owls would have handled it. What is that? Is that from Owl House? I'm not sure, but I think I'm comfortable giving this an A. It was great to me. It could have been better, so it's not superb like these three. I like these three a lot. So I'm gonna give it an A. Are we comfortable with A?
That's fine.
Y'all sure?
We are. It wasn't predictable to me.
Okay. It wasn't predictable. I did not expect what I got, but I mean that's not good. I mean that's good. The last one is Jabaro. You guys can give it a ranking if you want to, but just know it's going to stay where it is.
Bye, Petty.
Hibaro. Sorry, Hibaro. Would anybody like to rank it? Going once. Going twice. Would anyone like to discuss it? Going once. Going twice. Did
One
anyone?
thing I have to say about it is it's kind of like maybe she was intrigued with him because she felt like he wasn't
He's not like those other guys.
right, basically.
Did you watch my review?
I did.
Okay.
I can't remember it, but I did.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was watching Jabaro because I watched your review first. Like,
Yeah.
because I watched your review a while ago, and that's what made me want to watch season 3 because I forgot Love, Death, and Robot was out. And I watched your review, so I was like, I was intrigued to watch it, and you did a really good job on your analysis of it. So it was really good too, and just the movement, everything. I loved Jabaro. Everything.
As soon as I put on notifications for this live, all the Jabaro explanations started coming up on my timeline, so I had to go ahead and watch it. Everybody was spoiling it.
Masterpiece. I'm glad we're all in agreement that it was a masterpiece. Amazing. Just God is a good God. Have you guys ever heard that phrase? And I didn't know what that meant until I watched Jabaro. Wow. Amazing. Am I right?
Yes.
Not it gave you a come to Jesus moment. I said not it gave you a come to Jesus moment.
A come to Jesus moment.
So, like, what part of Yubaro made an impact on you, Petty?
I like when the beginning when it starts at like 00 to the end when it's like 17 minutes and 23. Between that time, everything there was just the best part. Amazing. I think the best thing was going to rewatch it, and there was one that made me. Y'all said what made y'all do this was Nope. What made me do this was Jabaro. Going to do research, looking for all of the symbolism in it, and reading the people writing articles about it. Going to see it broken down and seeing the symbolism in it. The way that they're able to convey all of this emotion without even using any words at all during the entire thing, and of course this sort of harrowing feeling you get at the end when she's stripped of her worth, and how to me it was a allegory to it was a symbol of rape as well as pillaging and stuff like that by the conquistadors back in the day. But just the way that she's now sitting without her gold and just in shame screaming out, and like when she yelled, I felt that. Yeah, in so many words. There you go. Made Petty found salvation.
And she was trying to pop it and lock it, and it just wasn't hitting the same. Like, he messed her up.
I feel like, yeah, there were no winners in this one. And it was a sad ending. And also it was made by, if you guys remember The one where it's the Groundhog's Day. I forgot what it's called.
The one with the lady dressed like a Asian Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but I forgot what it's called. They're
AKA
made by
not my favorite.
the same person. Uh, what is that name? What is that name? That is it, guys. That is the entire. That's it. Get out of here. Bye.
Uh,
What if I ended
wait,
it right now?
wait, question. So like the title Love, Death, and Robots. Um, and we see all these different episodes, and they all have a common theme. Either they have death or robots or love or all of it in one. So does that mean anything to you guys? Like, because I'm thinking to myself, I mean, maybe it doesn't, but is this like a show where we watch humanity fall into obscurity? Like, is this what the show is about? And it's just
I
like
like
different.
that question. And well, I first want to say the best part about this show is that I watched it to discuss it with you guys. I have to say, I know that's cheesy, but when I was watching it and like getting frustrated and like I knew I didn't feel like watching this, I just was like, but I do want to discuss it with everybody. So there's that. And then I felt like this season, the common thread throughout was communication and like breakdowns in communication, the way communication is used to cause chaos, the way communication is used to unite. Um, that was something that I got out of this season was the theme of communication in different forms.
You could
Okay,
be
I
right
get
because
that.
a lot of the technology was used to prevent communication.
Yeah, like with okay, so even going back, Hibaro, that breakdown of communication where she, anything that came out of her mouth was going to evoke a certain type of response from the males. And then he didn't respond the same way. So then she having a miscommunication thinking, oh, well, that makes him safe or even desirable. And then he's the most dangerous of them all because he could be close. Like there was that. Swarm, the communicate, all of it was about she was explaining to him the different ways they communicate, and they communicated through pheromones and everything specifically too. And ultimately that was their downfall of him trying to be and it wasn't lost on me the irony of, especially in that one, him trying to be slick, trying to quote unquote win a game, or trying to take dominance over something that didn't need it, and then getting, cut off at the knees. And but that was, a form of communication. He was trying to what's that called? Hotwire their communication system to make it work for them, and then that happened, and then um I can't remember what the other ones were, but yeah, I just noticed a lot of the theme of the Cthulhu thing, where the sound and the vision and everything like that was how he was utilizing that pathway to try to get free to cause chaos and havoc and stuff, and she just silenced and blinded herself so that wouldn't happen. Um,
I think that could legitimately be the theme of this season.
yeah, and even I think it really hit me too when both in Swarm and in Bad Traveling, they were using the dead bodies to communicate to the human. The creatures were using the dead bodies to communicate to the humans. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal. Communication is a big deal because that's how we convey the messages and get the things that we need.
Themis just came here to throw shade on everything.
You got to watch the replay, Themis. This was some good stuff.
But Petty, do you think that I mean, just to tie in all that we have seen so far, obviously we're watching stories about humanity's downfall every single episode, where whether it be like a breakdown of communication, like vitamin Q. I'm sorry, am I saying your name right?
Key for Kiana.
Vitamin Q pointed out, or like the last 2 seasons. Like, what do you think? Do you think the death in the robots and all the sexy time has anything to do with the overall message of the show?
Muted.
You're on mute.
I generally do not make the connections between the episodes or seasons that you guys make. Like when you're like, this is the theme of this season is clearly communication. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Like, I'm just here for a good time. Some of these things have meaning to me. Some of them do not. Obviously, y'all know which one have meaning to me. But I didn't see like an overarching theme. Even the thought of humans, human bad, human killing themselves. I don't even see that. Like I would say that for Black Mirror. Like over there's a theme, I think. But here, no, I didn't see any.
Also, I don't know exactly how, don't quote me, but a lot of people who are like spiritual people tend to rely on cats for like spiritual communication or protection or something like that. Maybe that's the only the reason they survive. I don't know.
I mean, but how can you? Because you have one thing that made me believe that is the fact that those 3 robots keep coming back in each season. So the 3 robots are there. You're shaking your head. You disagree?
They came back in season 3.
Oh, they didn't?
Yeah, they were in season 2.
So we're just in season 2? I gotta swear. Okay, maybe I'm mixing up the seasons.
Season 1 and then season 3.
I bet if they came, if they do a season 4, they might make a comeback. But like, I think the robots are just there to, at the aftermath of everything. After the human has destroyed himself. So that's just my theory.
This is crazy. I'm starting to see a theme, not in season 3, but that's interesting because I just said I don't do that. Colonization is an overarching theme. I can see that.
Very much so.
For example, let's bring up this clip. Thema said, can someone summarize it in 5 seconds? Let's summarize, guys. Let's summarize.
Summarize what?
I am man, hear me roar. Like I don't
Basically, that's the season. Very masculine, very in your face. It is just out there, as we discussed earlier. The theme for this season, maybe the theme is colonization. I'm thinking about Swarm. I'm thinking about, what was the other one? The 3 robots. Well, no, I don't see that. I don't see it in anything except Swarm.
I said it was communication. I said it was.
Oh, no, I was responding to somebody in the comments. As far as communication,
I'm actually glad Famous took a nap because I always be wondering like when he sleeps and eats and does human things. So I'm glad he got some rest.
It's good to get rest, but not too much. Not too much. Does anyone else have any comments on any of these shows, any of the seasons? Anyone that stood out in particular? Season 3 is definitely over season 2, right? All agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Because y'all were just doing some interesting ratings earlier. I'm going to put season 1 and season 2 and season 3 on the screen real quick. And that's going to be the end of the stream if no one else has any comment. This is season 2. Everything was rated very poorly. Very, very poorly. Like, it don't seem like...
Actually, we gave them a lot of grace in season 2.
I did feel like we gave them a lot of grace because when you look at if season 2's episodes were in season 3 and it was just one season, they would not be that high. So
it was drawing, like it was just womp womp. The whole season, nothing really was great.
I think Pop Squad was like the best thing out of that whole entire season. That was literally, and that kind of was traumatizing at times. But yeah, that season.
Like I
I
would watch
mean,
a
I'm
whole season.
saving all through the house for those kids. Please believe it. But if it was just a stream on season 2, I might have just watched the replay and But
Night
I
of
like season
Free.
2.
not a free. I'm gonna pull up season 3 now, and that will be all. I've been told my voice is a tranquilizer. Um, it is soothing and calm. It is alpha. A real man does not roar; he talks. Guys, season 3. I love season 3 so much. I liked it. I'm surprised Jabbar was my favorite episode out of any of the seasons, and season 1 had some good competition. But yeah, this was giving. This was giving what it was supposed to give, and I like that. Any comments, questions, concerns? Going once.
I want compensation for the mental anguish that Swarm has caused me.
You can send me $3.50 on Cash App, and I will send it back to you.
Also, the hurry up and give details.
Look, we were supposed to get out of here in 2 hours. We are crossing the 3-hour mark in 9 minutes. So maybe I should have just let you have the extra 10 minutes to go in depth on each episode. Maybe. But no. I'm gonna do it next time. Oh yeah. So the next week we're supposed to be doing Lovecraft Country because I promised Tori like weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and we gave up last Sunday to Torkin Themus's live stream. So after Lovecraft Country, hopefully I will be at 500 subscribers and I can make community posts and we can just do a weekly poll on what movie we want to review. It's looking like Sandman, just because I'm already watching it and like I no offense to Tori, but I'm like ready to be done with Lovecraft Country and get on Sandman. And then after that, we're gonna do a weekly vote on what we gonna do.
Sandman the series is good. Yeah, I'll be here for that one.
Isn't it? It just came out on Netflix, didn't it? Like literally just came out, didn't it? Or am I tripping?
I didn't watch Lovecraft Country.
You got a week.
Me either. I'll be in the audience watching the review for Lovecraft.
I'll be here for it. I watched Lovecraft Country. I have to rewatch it because I don't know. Oh yeah, that's it.
So Lovecraft Country, then maybe we could do 2. I mean, we did seasons 2 and 3 here today in 2.5, 2 hours and I don't know what point it is, 0.70 something, don't know. But we did this in 3 hours for 2 seasons. But then those are long seasons though. Lovecraft Country like a hour each episode, isn't it? No, I don't think we can split it up. Not me. I don't have the time. It is already almost 9 here, nearly my bedtime. Let me see what is going on. Bad time. Okay, that's okay.
Lovecraft is very detailed though, so I don't know if you can do the whole series in one stream.
Isn't it just one season, like 10 episodes?
It is, but they're long seasons and they're very detailed. There's a lot of Easter eggs.
I will say this much. I didn't watch like when it was out, when it was, had just come out and stuff. I watched a lot of the commentary and stuff on it, and it does seem like there's a lot of things to cover in each episode.
Why did Tori
triggers in there? If you're easily triggered,
that's why I didn't watch it, because like the stuff I was seeing that I was just like, I don't know if I feel like getting emotionally involved in this. It seems like a lot between, like, it's one thing when you're doing a period piece on like the 60s and 50s and stuff like that, and then another thing if you're doing science fiction, stuff like that, and then you're combining them. It just felt like a lot to process.
I think Sandman will be a quicker review. Lovecraft Country, you would have to break that up.
When you say it was traumatic to watch, do you mean like them? I put the characters up on the screen.
More traumatic.
More
That's not
traumatic than them?
Lovecraft.
No, this is them.
Oh,
Lovecraft
I
Country.
didn't watch that either. I didn't watch them or Lovecraft because I thought they were both going to be traumatic. I don't
yeah,
really like
same.
period pieces too much with Black history. It's sometimes you need a break.
First of all, during
I
all
was
that
mixing them up. No,
time,
them is very, 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 very. Ooh, those.
because mind you, we
Every
still had
episode
all
is
that
like a
stuff
gut punch.
going on between like George Floyd and
Oh, yeah.
the riots on it. Like it was just a lot of racially tinged stuff going on. Period. And I was just like, okay, this isn't even real. I'm not going to burden myself with it.
Yeah, that was just my feelings as well.
Oh my god. It's blackface. Hold up. I'm trying to put this on the screen. Because y'all are asking what is them. Them was made to be traumatic. I see yeah, maybe this will jog your memory. But them wasn't so bad. They play a fun little game called Cat in the Bag. It's like this game young kids play sometimes. And I mean it was mostly lighthearted comedy type of thing. I'd recommend it. Them looks traumatic. It is traumatic. And okay, Lovecraft is black cosmic horror. So everybody is saying Sandman. I really want to do Sandman because
Is
that is
Sandman
what I
a
want.
fantasy?
Huh?
Is Sandman fantasy? It looked like it was some kind of fantasy.
You haven't started watching yet?
No, I don't really watch television or not like shows.
Sandman is like the idea of him has been around for a while. He's like a dream, but now this is a new series. I'm only like a little bit into the first episode. I stopped because I knew I was going to want to skip Lovecraft Country. Maybe I'll just talk to Tori because I've been saying we're gonna do it for like 4 weeks now, and we keep.
Well, I want to put American Gods into the pot because I watched all of those.
You can put it in the Discord, and we can vote on it because I don't know what that is.
I don't know when we'll get to it, but I just want to put it in the pot.
Let me chat real quick. We got American Gods, Lovecraft Country, them, and Sandman. What are y'all feeling for next week? And then I'll end.
Sandman.
Sandman will be the easiest one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. People feeling American Gods in the comments. I've never heard of that.
It seems like an easier watch.
Yeah, keep in mind I'm trying to do the like one season, easy to discuss, easy to watch thing, and then stuff like Erica recommended Twilight Zone, and it's like 750 episodes across 60 years, 16 seasons, like something crazy.
I think they were talking about the Jordan Peele Twilight Zones.
No, we watching all of them. Well, no, I'm not. But
You should pick if you do Twilight, you're gonna have to pick a few episodes and have us watch them because that's a lot of episodes.
yeah, then we're gonna be doing Twilight for 3 years before we get back to any other show, which is why I feel like it's problematic.
So why don't you put a date in the far future where we'll come? But how would we even do? We wouldn't be able to do all of Twilight Zone in one show.
Somebody said Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone.
That makes more sense logistically speaking, because there's only like 2 seasons of that.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about Twilight Zone other than
Same Adrian.
So it looks like we're doing Sandman, and we're gonna have to set Lovecraft Country for a time where we can actually discuss it, or maybe split it into 2 seasons. But we got a lot to do. I also really want to do Undone. Outside of that, I don't have any more recommendations. If you guys do have recommendations, down in the comments.
Westworld.
Huh?
Westworld.
Somebody recommended that too. What is Westworld?
Westworld is the robot. So they have a theme park where it's robots that are, you go there and you can basically do whatever to the robots, and then eventually the robots become sentient and they take over.
Are y'all comfortable with me sharing the Discord?
With whom?
Oh, it's public. I made one public, and that's the one where we do TV shows. recommendations.
Oh, that's fine, I guess.
Sure.
It's
Wait,
not.
is this what we've already been talking in?
Yeah. Well, I have my own Discord. If
Oh no, I
you're,
haven't been privy to that, but
oops, you weren't supposed to know. My bad. No, I'm just playing. Um, I have my own Discord. One is open, and generally we just recommend movies and TV shows to do a review on. That's it. One's private, where we twerk. So I would drop
The
that.
season finale of Westworld is tonight.
Oh, I'm so behind. I only watched season 1 of Westworld, and I need to watch
You're
season 2
lucky.
and 3.
You're lucky. I actually this season I had to wait every week. Well, each season I've watched it from the beginning, but like I like it when I'm late to something, so I could just watch it straight through.
Oh yeah. With that being said, we are at the 3 hour mark. Um, nearly. So that is all I have for you, young gentlemen and gentle ladies. I'm going to be ending my live stream now after I play my outro. Thank you for coming to watch. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to recommend to your friends so they can watch me do dusty stuff. And make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And if you guys do want to push something to the top of my list, be sure to recommend it in the Discord because I don't have the ability to do votes on my channel yet. With that being said, my name is Prince Petty, and this has been Man with a Mic.
To